Welcome back again to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard, man. What a week of football. Y'all already know we was down there at the tailgate down at FedEx Field to see the Commanders and the New York Giants bright and in person on Sunday Night Football. What a big game. What a big win for the New York Giants, man. Big shout out to the nation one time. Big shout out to the gang. Appreciate everybody pulling up for that Giant overreaction earlier at 1 p.m. That was a real good vibe, man. Real good slow burner. 3 hours of just chopping it up. A lot of good conversation. If you missed that, I definitely recommend going back and checking that one out. And, in this week in the NFC East, the Cowboys took a surprising L to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a late game collapse by the Dallas Cowboys there. They end up losing in overtime 40-34. The Eagles snuck out with a victory against the Chicago Bears. I told y'all them Bears might cover, man. The Bears are definitely a better team than their record suggests. I believe they're 3-11 on the season now. The Eagles end up improving to 13-1. Man, that just sounds ridiculous. I don't even know how I feel about that, but we're going to talk about that. And our New York Giants took care of the Washington Commanders 20-12 at FedEx Field. We also saw the Patriots lose a game to the Raiders in probably the most bonehead fashion we've ever seen in the entire NFL history. I mean, what a way to lose a game. I don't know what the homie was thinking there. I forget who that wide receiver is because, a lot of them wide receivers on the Patriots are a bunch of no-namers. But tried to throw the ball back on the last play of the game. Raiders end up scooping, scoring, and quick stiff arm to your boy Mac Jones, and the Raiders in the end zone for a game-winning touchdown. But without further ado, let me bring in the angriest co-host in the country. Today, he's going to have to be the weak side to the strong side because our New York Giants took care of business. I guarantee you when I bring him on his screen, he's not going to be flexing too heavy. How you feeling, The Beard?
I'm here. I'm alive. First, let me just start this by saying big shout out to my co-host, Mr. Awthentik. Held it down today on a special Tuesday edition of Giant Overreaction. So definitely wanted to give a big shout out to the chat. You guys were amazing during that show. We were over 100 viewers during that show for Giant Overreaction today for most of the show. So I just wanted to start by, giving the flowers to the people.
You kind of trying to butter things up, before you start roasting and toasting. I can feel it.
That's kind of interesting you say that. So yesterday, I was recovering from this debacle of a game, and not only did we lose, but I got kicked in the shin when we were down by a folding table.
It took everything in my power not to laugh at you, dog. When somebody get hurt, you just hope they okay so you can bust out laughing. Like, he did give me the signal that he was quite okay. He's just on the ground. Literally rolling on the floor in pain. So how's the leg doing today, man?
The leg is doing a lot better. It's bruised, it's swollen, it's cut and scraped and bloody, but I'm walking around, so it's not that bad, But when it happened, I tried to stand up. I was like, oh, this is not good. I'm not. So for those of you that don't know, what happened we tailgated. So when we got back to the crib, well, first mistake we made was we packed everything up from the table first before putting the table in last. So we had to put the table on top of everything.
Don't say we on that mistake because I wasn't a part of that.
We can't blame who was a part of it. So I opened the back trunk when we get home, and the table just slides out the back of the CRV and just like an avalanche into my shin and just takes me out.
He was definitely on the ground, like doing his best impersonation of like FIFA World Cup. Like he was hurt. He wasn't injured. I could tell he wasn't injured, but you would have thought that he tore his ACL or something the way he was on the ground in pain, rolling around in the cold, man. It was wild. It was definitely wild.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Let's listen. It was cold. I don't care what anybody says, shout out to
You didn't dress proper, though. You didn't dress proper.
I should have put on 3 layers instead. Well, I had 3 layers up top, but only 2 layers down below.
Yeah.
I should have had.
The knees was cold. The knees was cold.
The kneecaps were legitimately cold. So, but I mean, listen, it was a wild weekend of football. It was cool though because we got to watch the Dallas debacle and the New England debacle at the same time on from the tailgate. We had a little setup so we could watch that. So. Big shout out to Chris Peace too.
Did you see when the Patriots were throwing the ball back? Like how I was very adamant explaining that to people, right? And it's so funny because like football IQ is not like normal IQ, right? Like normal IQ is just like, if it makes sense, it's common sense. All right, it fits there, it'll go there, 1 + 1, bang, right there. But like football IQ is so different. And as we were watching that play, I was spotting that out. I'm like, why would you throw the ball back like that with a tie game ready to go in overtime? And everybody around the table was kind of looking at me kind of like, what you mean, man? Like, I don't know, it's the last play of the game. It's a lateral play. And I'm just like, this is why I play quarterback and y'all.
Listen, that was definitely not by design. That was off script, right?
Responsibility for it. I don't know why I keep forgetting who it is. It's not N'Keal Harry because I feel like he left New England.
But was it Jacoby Myers?
I think it was Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Dude was a former quarterback, whoever it was. I forget who the receiver was. And man, that interception, that other interception where homie was jumping out of bounds.
Oh my God!
His feet were not going to land
in,
so he threw the ball
game.
back in. I think it was the Chargers game.
Yeah, that was some backyard. That was awesome.
Man. One of the most incredible interceptions I've ever seen, man. So it was, it looked to be a week of football that I wasn't going to mind missing, but there was a lot of big plays, man. And I had to go back in and catch up on a lot of these games, man, especially that Cowboys game because we were watching it, but simultaneously like unpacking, and we were doing so much. I was kind of getting the play-by-play and the updates from Monique. I thought they were going to come away with that victory, man. And unfortunately for them Cowboys fans and my man Jameson, he already sent me a couple comments talking about it. He was like, Awthentik, you feel bad for me? I was like, nope. I don't feel bad for you at all and your Cowboys. Y'all got that nice record. Y'all deserve a couple of losses here after what Cooper Rush did to keep your season alive.
And I mean, we're going to obviously jump into that game very shortly, and I'll save my flowers for the Dallas Cowboys for that segment. I don't want to give too many flowers.
It's coming right up.
There.
It's coming right up. So
it is coming right up. But yeah, it was an awesome weekend of football. I had a great time at tailgate. I will tell you, and it was really cool to see the Sean Taylor memorial. We were actually sitting basically right where it was where we entered to get to our seat. So that worked out really well. I was super stoked to be able to see that. They'd made some changes to it. They added the tape to the face mask. They changed the uniforms up, taped the ankles. So it was a little bit different than what some people had saw. That was the first game where they had made those changes. So that was pretty cool.
It looks better in person too. In the glass case that it's in and it's roped up and they tried and they did their thing on that. I know a lot of people gave them flack for it, but in person it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and the game, I'll tell you what's weird though. It doesn't really feel like, I know we're the Commanders now, but it's like, it still feels like it's the Redskins. I mean, I know that like
you saw a lot of gear though from a lot of fans.
Yeah, a lot of mixture. A lot of mixture of the three combinations. I did see a girl. I forgot to tell you this. I don't know if you saw me. I typed it in the Giant Reaction chat. I did see a girl rocking a red Icebox jersey at the game. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Up.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, very, 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 very cool jersey. But crazy weekend of football, man. And we're gonna talk about these three games. It's gonna be very interesting. But I do want to give a big shout out to everybody who's rocking with us right now, watching us here on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and of course right here, right now on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here. Let the world know that we're about ready to talk about some football, and this is real deal talk. This is cutthroat. There's no gimmicks. This is just Awthentik and The Beard giving you the real deal Holyfield business here. So let's go ahead and say some strong side. Let's say some shout outs to the people in the chat. I know I saw Jameson in here, even though his comment just seems to have disappeared. So shout out Coach Taylor. Hope dialysis is going well. Michael Knight.
In the building. What's poppin', fam? 2 shows. We back to back on them, man. We draped them one time. Let's go.
Back. Big shout out to Yam in Japan. Commanders lost to the Giants because Scott Turner is terrible. Facts. And Taylor Heineke doesn't understand red zone scoring works. Facts. Congrats to the Giants. They made us look like pretenders. Super facts. Big shout out to Gregory holding it down for his Cowboys. Yes, congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys for backdooring your way into the playoffs. You would have clinched eventually anyway, so congratulations. You guys deserve it.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite call that a backdoor. They got some wins.
Yeah. They didn't clinch on themselves. They clinched by losing, which,
it would have happened eventually.
It would have happened eventually, so congratulations.
They still got to play y'all last week of the season, man.
They do. That's going to be a big game probably. So congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys. Big shout out to Gregory. We appreciate you. Carl is in the building. Says this going to be dope.
Carl?
Waiting all day to hear from the Beard. Let's go, G-Man. Yeah, I got a lot to say. What's going on, Jeffrey? I thank you for your you thinking about me. And yes,
look at our sympathetic Giants fans, man. Salute to the gang, man. You know, most teams, you know, they'll pour it on, be like, y'all stink. You guys suck. You guys are trash, man. You guys tenders, man.
Well, that's because I keep it real with the Giants community. You know,
I think it has more to do with the Giants community than it does to do with you.
No, this is just coming back for me being a real fan.
You got a couple Cowboys fans here talking about sorry about your luck, Beard. I mean, after the shit flowers you were giving them a couple episodes ago. That's extremely nice, man. Gregory, you're a nice guy, man.
I'm sticking with Ron Rivera, but I do think we need to make a change at offensive coordinator for sure. Big shout out to Marjorie, always dropping the Marge bombs in the chat. We appreciate you. Simon is in the building. RTDP did not happen. So yeah, we're gonna definitely touch base on that. JJ Stangle's in the building. Hey, Ben Bayou is in the building. What's going on, Ben?
Let's get some Apex popping later, Ben. What's good?
How about them boys is in the building? He said, I told you that what was going to happen, Beard. And I told you it was going to happen.
Right. I like that.
What's going on, Kai at 001 in the building, holding it down for the Cowboys. Mr. Mini Guy with his trademarked yo, yo, yo. Appreciate you stopping by. The Beige Boy in the building. No bitching about the refs. They screwed the Giants on a few calls, too. Nice win, Blue. HTTC. You see, this is the difference. This is real. We keep it real here.
Look at this community, man. Look at this community being real.
Yeah. Big shout out to Sebastian. We appreciate you being back. Logix is in the building. Real People is in the building.
Real People in the building.
Monique is in the building. The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Confident. I like it. 2 losses now. 2, because that other Texas game's a loss. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what the scoreboard says. It was a loss. Now you got 2 losses to go look in that mirror and have some damn accountability and say, am I going to step up and help my team win? Did you see Vander Esch get tossed in that game? Did you see that?
He's going to injury reserve.
He got a neck injury, and he got tossed. I don't know if you saw it. Somebody, a lead blocker came from the side of him. He got tossed. I'm talking about, like, it looked like you was out there, dog. It looked like you was out there playing middle linebacker, straight up and down.
But big shout out. I see a bunch of people in the chat. I see Tuto. Chris Peace is in the building. Big shout out to everybody. Nick the Wick is in the building with the $1.99 super chat. Says 2 times, 2 streams from Awthentic. Fire emoji. Bring back DJ. Hashtag that.
Big shout out to Nick the Wick, man. He just won an award, one of the best players in his area, man. So big salute to him, man. And
big shout out.
I told you on the Giant Overreaction, bro. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep grinding, man. Keep working.
And big shout out to James Funk. Always got to shout out James Funk, who's always holding us down on Facebook. Says, I will never doubt the Beard again after calling the Jags. Damn. That's
how it works, huh? You could call about 10, 12, 15. They could all go left. One go right, though.
I don't know. I've been pretty high percentage from 50 yards out, man.
Yeah, okay.
There is a ton of people in the chat. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate you guys joining us. We got 58 people rocking with us right now. Yeah, let's go. Let the games
begin. Let the games begin. Let the games begin. All right. There's 1,000 games here in this. I should have cleaned this up a little bit, but we'll be okay. Shout out to the parlay. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That show's kind of running out of gas now as fantasy is coming to an end, but we'll be here for the next couple of weeks, man. Y'all know what it is. It's playoff time for a bunch of people in the fantasy, including that guy over there.
I lost.
Oh, God. You're out.
Saquon Barkley. He had a game, man. Knocked me out the playoffs.
Big dog. Woo, woo.
But I did win my other matchup, so I still have one team left in the playoffs right now. So
hey, best of luck to you, man.
Yeah,
best of luck to you, brother.
We'll touch on that closer towards the parlay because I'm going to need your help, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I like that. All right, you know how we do over here. Community-based, man. Democratic
Yes,
vibe,
sir.
right? Like, everybody come together. We make the vote. You set the starting lineup. Hopefully we get the W. We share the proceeds, too, right?
The way my bank account is set up.
The way that bank account is set up. All right, let's talk about these Cowboys, man, and that collapse against the Jaguars one time. All right, man. Dallas Cowboys took the L. They now sitting at 10-4. The Jaguars improved to 6-8. Cowboys took the L 40-34. The Cowboys were leading at the half 21-7. We was in the car, Monique. Everything was looking great. We thought we was going to get that win, huh, Cowboys? And Trevor Lawrence said, pump them brakes one time, man. Check this out, man. There's definitely a couple of stats here that stood out to me. The Jaguars were 0-20 in their last 20 games versus the NFC. They had a negative 273-point differential. It's the longest non-conference losing streak in NFL history. Just came to an end against those Dallas Cowboys, man. So thank you, Cowboys. Y'all really not repping for the NFC conference one time. The Cowboys have now committed 5 turnovers on offense in 2 games. Their defense, meanwhile, has surrendered a combined 830 yards and 63 points to the Texans and the Jaguars, the Beard's 2 favorite teams outside the Washington Commanders and the Cincinnati Bengals. In overtime, Dak Prescott had an interception go off the hands of Noah Brown's hands near midfield. It bounced into the hands of Jaguars safety Rayshon. I don't want to say Rashad Jenkins. Rayshon Jenkins, just so you get that clear, who returned the pick for a walk-off overtime touchdown. The Cowboys do eventually clinch a playoff berth with big dog New York Giants taking care of business at FedEx Field at the Flex at FedEx. The Cowboys were outscored 33-13 in the second half and overtime. Dak Prescott, these statistics from the first half to the second half was looking very different. First half, he was 15 of 16, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, looking real clean. That jersey was looking real pretty. In the second half, he threw his 9th interception since returning, which is the most in the NFL during that span. Dak Prescott, he ended up finishing the day 23 of 30 for 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a quarterback rating, a QBR of 71.9. He was sacked 3 times on the day. But the real story here was Trevor Lawrence, man. Trevor Lawrence, 27 of 42. Second half performance was looking fantastic. He had 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was only sacked 1 time, that's very interesting for the Dallas Cowboys. We know that front finds their way to the quarterback. They couldn't do that in this game. Trevor Lawrence had a QBR of 59.8. He had 318 yards. Travis Etienne, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't stop the run. I mean, there's almost 200 yards of rushing. Travis Etienne had 19 rushes for 103 yards. He was averaging 5.4 yards per carry. Jamal Agnew had 3 rushes for 52 yards. And Zay Jones, man. Zay Jones, we talked about Zay Jones on the parlay, man. The 3 touchdowns, man. He had 109 receiving yards, 6 receptions on 8 targets. That dude was definitely balling out in this game. It was 27-10, and I know the Beard's going to talk about this just a little bit after a 53-yard field goal in the third quarter. And the Jaguars, man, they made quick work of their next possession, man. On the 3rd play of the drive, Trevor Lawrence completed a 59-yard pass to Zay Jones. To me, it was the window and the biggest difference maker in this game. The Beard, what did you see in this one, man? You know, from the limited amount that we did catch from this game, what were your thoughts on this one?
I mean, this one is a little bit weird for me because usually, like, when the Cowboys play bad, like, it's kind of easy to spot and make sense of why they lost. This wasn't one of those games necessarily, and it's interesting because it's very easy for us to point the finger at Dak Prescott. Obviously, you talked about the 9 interceptions. No one else doesn't even have more than 5 during that span.
He's been struggling.
You know, so like that's definitely a area of concern. But I mean, the defense just, they let the offense down to a certain extent. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, I think had 96 yards. Evan Ingram had like 80 yards, 40 points and great. 503 yards that Dallas defense gave up. Yeah. 503 yards, 40 points. You can't win games like that. Cannot win games like that. Now, the thing that's crazy is that, you know, we had talked about how their run defense had been playing better over the course of the last couple of weeks against good competition too.
Yeah,
you know,
Saquon
running backs,
Barkley, Dalvin Cook, and Jonathan Taylor.
So, like, this is kind of like, I feel like we talked about this a couple of times with the Dallas Cowboys this season. Is this like an anomaly, a hiccup, or is this something that is concerning moving forward?
I think it's concerning.
Now that it's starting to become an inconsistency issue. You know what I'm saying? And look, Tony Pollard, another game, Flowers, over 100 total yards from scrimmage, between receiving and running. CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 126 yards. Like, these guys were out here making plays.
The offense wasn't the problem early on.
No, it wasn't. The thing is that when you're in games like this, and we talked about this during the Giants and Commanders preview, I said, look, we are at a point in the football season where the things that you was getting away with weeks 1 through 14, 1 through 13, that ain't going to fly no more. It's not going to fly at this point in the season. And every single play, every turnover is critical. The big thing is that both of those interceptions led to points, 14 points. Obviously, the second one being an interception return for a touchdown. Yeah. But, I mean, those 2 interceptions lead to 14 points.
And the first one is on Dak for sure. He just kind of sailed it a little bit, kind of went over the head of his receiver, and it was an easy interception too.
And I talked about how, Dallas needs to run the ball to help Dak out. And they did that. They ran the ball 41 times.
Yeah.
41 times in this game. They looked
like they were on their way to a victory. The problem was in the second half, they could not find a way to stop the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm looking at the play-by-play here just a little bit. And when you look at the Jaguars' second half possessions, they come out the gate with a field goal, right? And then Trevor Lawrence is intercepted. It's a short field for the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense ends up holding up. But from that point on, they scored 3 straight touchdowns to end the game in a field goal. So, as a defense, you cannot let your offense down when you get that kind of a lead. But at the same time, once it started to go bad for that defense, that offense really couldn't. They had no answers. They really had no answers. And there was a possession there right before the Dallas Cowboys punted. I thought that was really interesting. They went 3 plays and out. They were trying to drain the clock there before Trevor Lawrence drove the Jaguars down, and they had the game-tying field goal at the end of regulation, where they ended up passing the ball on 3rd down. Like, instead of trying to make the Jaguars waste another timeout, they end up passing the ball. They took a deep shot. I think they took a deep shot to Noah Brown on that one too. And it just seemed like Noah Brown pretty much had the matchup that, that they felt like they could exploit in the second half. But one reason or another, they just weren't connecting. And I don't think that the end of this game is really on Dak Prescott. It's a weird – I saw my man Lord Brunson comparing it to a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook shot, the way he threw the ball. The pass was right there, though. You got to catch that pass. And worst outcome is you pop it up in the air. It's a low pass. How are you popping it up in the air? It reminded me of some Evan Ingram vibes, but maybe that's all the payback Evan Ingram, was giving us as we were New York Giants fans. He deserved a little payback, and the football gods gave it to him.
And what's interesting is I think this is a very interesting point that Kai brings up, because it's very easy to look at the box score and just start adding up the interceptions for a quarterback, right? And this is like the complete opposite of Taylor Heineke. So Taylor Heineke probably, I would guarantee, I have no idea, but I would put money on it, as our friend Frank the Tank would say, bet the farm on it, that Taylor Heineke probably leads the league in most turnover-worthy plays. But he's gotten super lucky on a lot of those plays and not had interceptions. Kai says Dak Prescott is tied for the most interceptions, 6, on plays that weren't deemed turnover-worthy plays, meaning that they weren't his fault by PFF. Yeah. So I think that's an interesting point, and it comes to a point like, okay, now how much of that goes back onto the front office? You let Amari Cooper walk. I know that they was giving out bags left and right, and Michael Gallup was hurt, and, he's coming back. It's so difficult to expect a lot from a guy coming back from an injury like that in the
He's been balling, though. He's been balling.
He's been playing okay. I mean, He's had a couple of good games, but he hasn't been what they need him to be in this offense.
I'd have to dig into his stats because he's had some big games. He's definitely had some big games. And even when Michael Gallup was out there, when they had Amari Cooper, he was taking a back seat to CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, so he wasn't getting the target volume. And seems like this year, at least, he's been a part of the target share while he's been out there. I mean, he missed like a good, 5 weeks maybe?
I think it's more than that. I want to say he missed like 10.
10 weeks? Did he really miss that much? Now you prompted me to want to look at that real quick.
Yeah, I think he missed. And while you do that, I will bring attention to what is being talked about in the chat right now. The New York Football Giants have cut Tay Crowder.
Oh yeah, we saw that. Yeah, which I thought that was coming. I mean, he vocalized on Twitter and whatnot about him not getting playing time. Michael Gallup been back since October 2nd, so he missed about 4 games.
That's it, really?
Yeah, he missed about 4 games. And I'm looking at his statistics. So even when you look at, so right now he's got 31 receptions for 339 yards, 3 touchdowns. His highest touchdowns in his career was 2019. 2019 is definitely his best year. He had 6 touchdowns and he had 1,100 yards.
Yeah. We'll see. And yes, Ben B, I am telling you that Taylor Heineke has more turnover-worthy plays than any quarterback in the league.
I don't think you're right on that.
So when you guys get a second, verify that and get back to me in the chat. We'll appreciate that for sure. I mean, listen, the Dallas Cowboys have to figure something out, because if you're getting the biggest thing I'm taking away from this entire talk right now is that stat that you gave me about the total number of points and yards to the Jaguars and the Texans.
Yeah, it's 2 bad games.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen when you go into the playoffs and you got to face teams like, Minnesota, who can score 33 points and a half? You're going up against teams like Philadelphia, which
would all be second round.
Yeah.
Right now it's looking like the Dallas Cowboys are going to play the Tampa Bay Bucks in the first round, or the winner of that division, because they pretty much got the 5th spot sealed up.
Yeah, I mean, unless they flip-flopped with Minnesota, right? That would be the only, or they had like an epic
can't get
collapse,
there because they can't win the division. Cowboys can't win the division.
Oh yeah, so Minnesota's going to win the division. So
yep,
they're the number 1 wild card no matter what, unless they caught.
It'd be New York that would have to catch them.
Yeah, New York would have to catch them, or they would have to catch Philly and win the division. That'd be the only.
Which I think that's out of the question now, or it would take a Philadelphia a 3-game losing streak. I think.
Yeah.
Which that ain't gonna happen. Even if Gardner Minshew got coming, that ain't gonna happen. I don't think.
Yeah. No, I don't.
So the Cowboys probably gonna be locked up against either Atlanta or against the Bucks for the first round.
Or Carolina.
I mean,
right?
Carolina would be playing to get the 7th seed.
No, because if Carolina wins out, they win a division.
Oh, if they do win out, yeah. Because right now they're in 3rd. I ain't banking on that either, but it's possible. We'll see.
Anything's possible.
Either one of those matchups don't present as tough of a defensive matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. But what I will say is this: that was the one concern that I had about the Dallas Cowboys, is that the injuries are starting to pile up on them. And now you got Vander Esch, who's going to be out for a while as well. It's going to be extremely tough for them down the stretch, man. At cornerback, they've lost a lot of depth. And we know when it comes to pass rush, those pass rush and the secondary work hand in hand. And the other big thing about the Dallas Cowboys, they can't stop the damn run. They've been awful stopping the run. But ATN, to me, is one of those running backs that's on the up and up that, could be a top 5 running back here in the next year or two. I mean, I think that kid
and he had been struggling leading into this game.
He had a slow, and I think he was dealing with a little bit of an injury. And then,
yeah.
And then he kind of, hit a rough patch there. But what you saw out of him in the beginning of the year, even seeing it firsthand against my New York Giants, even though he fumbled it, which really gave us that game, he was a problem to stop that whole entire game. And once you get that running game going, Trevor Lawrence is the kind of quarterback that he ain't going to just sit there and game manage. He's going to end up making you pay. And we're starting to see that maturation of Trevor Lawrence, man. He's been balling out the last couple of weeks. I think he only has 1 interception in the last 6 weeks. And I know that it's at least 13 touchdowns. So he's definitely playing some good ball. I think Dak Prescott's going to have to find a way to get things together. And this prompted me to ask this question right here. Is Dak Prescott going to be the reason the Cowboys fall short in the playoffs?
Oh, man, I feel like it's almost impossible for me to answer these questions that you give me without
supposed to split the room, bro. You know
without being politically give you an answer.
I'm going to just keep it 100.
He's going to be the reason. If the Cowboys fall short in the playoffs, he's going to be the reason. And you want to know why? Because he's the quarterback.
Well, that's a political answer you just gave right there. If you think about it. That's for the kids on Twitter, right? He's a quarterback. We blaming him. In this game, if he goes on to win this game and Noah Brown doesn't pop that ball up and it's an interception, no one's complaining about Dak Prescott's game today. That's why I say that. I say if they're going to fall short, it's going to be because their defense can't stop the run, or because their defense just is allowing offenses to score too many points. This is too many. 34 points should win you a game.
Yeah, it should. So let me ask you this then. So like, is there a scenario? What would be the scenario to happen for Dak Prescott to be the reason the Cowboys fall short in the playoffs?
Something like this kind of a stat line here with 2 interceptions on the books, but not 40 from the other opposing team. You know, if you lose 26-21 and you throw 2 interceptions, they're going to blame you.
Yeah.
2 turnovers in a playoff game, if you're lucky enough to even be close in that game, you know, you'll be blessed. But at the end of the day, 2 turnovers, you didn't play a good game. They can blame you. And, what Kai brought up is very important because a lot of these interceptions ain't really on him, you know. But at the end of the day, there's no interception column for wide receivers, so they're going to go on the quarterback. I don't think Dak Prescott will be the reason that this team falls short. He played a good game. The running game was working. Their defense really let them down, and his wide receivers in this game let him down, in particular Noah Brown late in that game.
Yeah, because it's interesting because it's like, that's why I said that this loss was a little bit different for me from an outside perspective on like trying to key in on the reason why they lost. Because the interceptions are so, costly, but the point that you bring up about the defense giving up 40 points to the Jacksonville Jaguars, like you should be able to have a little room for error when you score 34 points.
All day.
You know
Could
what
you
I'm
imagine
saying?
if that was your team? Like, just imagine. I don't know about for you in particular because y'all have scored 30 points way more than we have. We haven't scored 30 points pretty much since Daniel Jones has been the quarterback.
I think we've only scored 30 points once this season.
I'm talking 4 years of not having 30 points, bro. So, like, for me, it's a little bit different. But if I see the Giants put up 34 points and we lose the game, I'm losing my mind. Because there's no way that our offense should be able to put up 34 points and we lose a game. I don't care who's playing corner, who's playing secondary. I don't care about that. It could be me and you out there. If the Giants score 34 points and lose a game, there's something really wrong. Now, you're talking about a defense that's top of the league as far as takeaways go. They're top of the league as far as pressures and getting sacks on the quarterback. You come away with 1 sack. This is a game where I think the novice fans going to try to blame it on Dak Prescott, right? But at the end of the day, it really ain't his fault. Not that he played some, like, Patrick Mahomes type of game.
Yeah.
But from what I saw from it, going back on it, looking at the game, the Cowboys offense did enough to win this. You scored 21 points in the first half, then you pretty much score 14 in the second half. That should win you the damn game.
I mean, and what's crazy is when you said the stat line 15 and 16, I'm pretty sure I had tweeted Kai on Twitter. I said, man, Dak Prescott right now is dealing. He was dealing in the first half. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of interesting answers obviously going on here right now. And I saw Kai, and we're going to bring some attention to his answer really quick. The $4.99 super chat. Shout out to Kai 001. Always holding us down, holding down the Dallas Cowboys here at this NFC East talk. He says Kellen Moore is going to be the reason why. He said Kellen Moore calls 4 deep routes on 3rd and 10 with 1:20 left in the 4th when the Jags have 1 timeout left.
That's the play I was talking about. That's the play I was talking about, Kai. You know, it's like they ran the ball twice, right? 1st and 2nd down, they run the ball. They forced the Jacksonville Jaguars to use the 2 timeouts. And they asked Mike McCarthy about it in the press conference, and he said, we just didn't want to play, we wanted to play aggressive and try to get the first down there and try to put the game away. It's hard to blame these coaches, like in hindsight, it looks really silly. If Dak Prescott could have got a little quick, maybe a little quarterback draw or something out of it, it might have been all right. But to take a deep shot and they only got 1 timeout left, at the end of the day, the Jacksonville Jaguars still get the ball back with the same amount of time, but they're going to have no timeouts on the clock. And they ended up kicking that game-tying field goal with time running out in regulation. So it looks bad.
There's a lot of – it's hard. I know that. I know that it's hard to be a coach in the NFL, right? Because it's just – you can call a great game for 3.5 quarters. But and this goes back to what I'm talking about is how the game is played different at this point in the season. There's no room for error. So it's like, I mean, there's a lot of questionable play calling, defensive schemes, all across the NFL, it feels like, as of recent. So, I mean, that's why, those 2 interceptions are so costly. But, they ran the ball 41 times. Dak only had, 7 incompletions. 3 touchdowns.
You should win the game.
You had a wide receiver with, I mean, like, there's so many variables that go into this. You know what's a
little bit different about this rushing attack from the Cowboys in this game? The yards per carry is not that high like it normally is with them. Normally, you either have Zeke or Tony Pollard with a high yards per carry. Tony Pollard had 19 carries for 75 yards. That shows you the commitment to the run, but also that he wasn't getting the big chunks. 3.9 yards per carry. His longest run of the day was 21, which you can get away with that if Zeke is running a little bit better, I feel like. Zeke 16 for 58, 3.6 yards a carry. He had the 1 touchdown. His longest run of the day was 10 yards. 5 of the 41 runs came from Dak Prescott, another one from CeeDee Lamb. You know, so they ran the ball fairly effectively.
What was the time of possession?
Time of possession in this one, the Dallas Cowboys lost it. I believe Dallas Cowboys won it 35-26 to 27-42.
It has to be the big plays. I want to say it's the big plays. Dallas gave up way too many big plays in this game.
And it's also the second half. Like I was telling you about those 3 scoring drives from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're quick. They're not methodical drives that are taking up a lot of time off the clock. They go 3 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown. Then they go 4 plays, 39 yards for a touchdown after an interception. And then they go 8 plays, 75 yards in 4 minutes. Their last drive was in a minute. They ran 7 plays for 41 yards and kicked the field goal.
Man, that would be awesome to have an offense that could do that.
Oh, my God. They dominated the second half offensively. And this is the thing when you get in these late games, and I don't think every game across the league is going to be like this where you literally have to play mistake-free football, because that's why you invest in a good defense and you invest in these players and these people at the skill positions to be able to make plays. But in a game like this where the Jacksonville Jaguars have been on the up and up, this is almost like playing Detroit, right? If you play Detroit right now at this point in the season, you better be ready for a shootout and you better be ready to not make many mistakes in that game. You saw it in our game. You guys made 2 major mistakes at the quarterback position, but it still came down to that last drive right there in the red zone. So you can't afford to do it if you're the New York Giants or the Washington Commanders in a game like that with 2 teams that, like I told you, really aren't that good, right?
Yeah.
But when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys and the Jacksonville Jaguars, one team that's kind of like the balloon is starting to deflate a little bit, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are literally like doing whippets as they're trying to make their way to the playoffs right now, you cannot afford to be making these mistakes. And I think the biggest thing in this game is Dak Prescott did enough to win, but Trevor Lawrence was just a better quarterback. He was just a better quarterback in this game. 4 touchdowns, 318 yards, and his QBR is less. But he just went out there and he made the plays when he had to make them. And then also the big plays from your boy Travis Etienne. The 19 for 103 yards, and then also what he added in the passing attack. Etienne, he's a gamer, man. He's a gamer.
And Trevor Lawrence looks like the number 1 pick now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he had his, his little blunders. He had that fumble that he lost in this one and whatnot. But you're starting to see a guy. It's just like what I'm seeing with Justin Fields when we get into that next game. Like Justin Fields, beginning of the year, I'm like, I don't know, man. Dude's got all the athletic skills in the world, but it's not really coming together now. They start putting the game plan, building it around him, and now he looks like one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Like Justin Fields is playing crazy football, but the Bears just can't really find a way to win games. And we'll get to that, but I think the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. He's balling out, and in this game, this wide receiver core that a lot of people were kind of sleeping on with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They look really good. I talked about that statistic last week that they're the only team in the AFC to have 3 pass catchers that have over 50 receptions on the year. They're led by Zay Jones, and they were led by Zay Jones in this game, 18.2 yards per reception. He had that 59-yarder and 6 of 8 targets, man. It's efficient. It's very efficient. Christian Kirk doing his thing, 6 for 92 on 10 targets. Evan Ingram had 8 on 10 targets. And this whole drop narrative that Evan Ingram had when he was in New York, they're not talking about that no more. Nobody even want to say nothing to Evan Ingram on Twitter no more because he's really showing out and proving a lot of Giants fans wrong.
He looks like in that. I know the jersey numbers are just they will completely change the way a player looks. Oh, yeah. I don't care what anybody says.
I love it.
But he looks a lot like more like a wide receiver than he does a tight end now.
But
like
he
looks like he looks like he's gotten into a little bit better shape. He looks a little quicker, more agile.
Evan Ingram, that's why we drafted him. He was a hybrid tight end. He wasn't a guy that was coming in supposed to be a blocker. He was a hybrid guy that was going to be able to beat the matchups with linebackers. And you've seen it firsthand right now. That's what he's doing. And, somebody got to lose the game. That's the thing. And when you got a lead like this, I remember when we were watching this in the car, Monique was just like, every play, it heightened. It was like you could feel that collapse, just like they were playing a game of Jenga and just pulling one off every time and putting it on top, putting one off on top until the point where it was like, all right, this shit's about to come down. It's about to come down. If y'all don't put this game away, it's going to come down. And Dak Prescott and this offense late in the game, they struggled to put this one away. That, to me, that's the biggest problem. While the Jacksonville Jaguars are scoring touchdowns, y'all are throwing interceptions and kicking field goals. You know, no second, one second half touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. You got to score. You got to score touchdowns, man. We know that from our game, man. Like, if you can't get down there to that red zone and score touchdowns, you're going to pay for it at some point in the game.
That is the fact of life right there. And some of the answers in the chat to the question, Mike K says, nah, the reason is it's the Cowboys. They always choke.
That seems to be the case.
Ben B says it will be the Dallas defense.
I'm with you on that, Ben.
Irish believes it will be Dak, and we know Kai believes it's going to be Kellen Moore. James Funk says Jerry Jones loves Dak, so the blame will be put on McCarthy. Interesting.
That's a good point, too. Don't let it be no, like, mismanagement or no time or nothing like that. They're going to blame Mike McCarthy immediately.
Yeah, so it's there's some very interesting responses there. And I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of the reason. Texas Boy says Dak, the reason they went to overtime. Dallas is falling apart at the wrong time. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting takes here in
I'll
chat.
say this though, like, they are falling apart kind of at the wrong time, right? But I do think they got about another 2-week buffer to get this shit right, because right now, it's like, you got 3 games left. You still got a little bit of time to try to get right, get some people healthy, even though a lot of them cornerbacks they lost are on IR. They're going to be gone for the year. But, for the people that are dealing with the nicks and the bruises and whatnot, you can get them right. I know that they just got their left tackle back involved in the mix and whatnot, but this offense didn't seem to be the problem in this game. The defense got to look themselves in the mirror and figure out a way to start making some stops. I know Trevor Lawrence and this offense by the Jaguars are a dangerous bunch, but you got to find a way. And I think they got 3 games to get it right. You're going to be able to play a team in Washington who I think is like, Washington is a great way to assess where you're at. I won't call it a get-right game, but it's the kind of game that if you're a good team, you should be able to go in there and beat Washington. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way that they're coached and the way that they utilize their personnel and also what's happening at the quarterback position. But the Cowboys have a chance. They definitely got a chance. I thought that the Houston Texans game, a near loss, was going to have them look themselves in the mirror, and they were going to come out here against the Jaguars and handle business. But maybe it's the weather, could be a little bit of a weather thing. Jacksonville playing over there in that nice weather. You go over there, you get straight up dog walked in the second half. You're not going to win games like that.
And big shout out to How About Them Boys. Said, just checked, by the way, the Beard was right about Heineke having the most turnover-worthy plays, minimum 100 dropbacks.
Can we have the round of applause for you? Pats on the backs? Good man, dude. Good man. I know you feel good about that. You hate Taylor Heineke.
That is not true.
Oh, I can't wait till we get to that game. I cannot wait until we get to that game. I got to hear what you got to talk about. But first, let's get off into this Eagles at Chicago Bears matchup one time, man, and then we'll talk about the New York Giants and the Commanders one time. I really enjoyed the way this game went, man. It kind of went according to schedule of what I thought it would be. I was saying the Bears would cover in this one, probably wouldn't get the win, but this was going to be a big matchup between 2 young quarterbacks that are going to be franchise quarterbacks for some years to come here. The Eagles end up winning this one 25-20. The Eagles improve to 13-1. The Bears fall to 3-11. It's crazy that a 3-11 team competed with a 13-1 team here, but Nick Sirianni is the 3rd coach since the 1970 merger to start 13-1 or better in the first or second career year as a head coach, joining Jim Caldwell with the Colts and George Seifert with the 49ers from 1990. The Bears are a lot better than their record would indicate. They came out here. I feel like they're a team that's on the up and up. Justin Fields, he became the Bears single-season leader in quarterback rushing yards, and he became just the 3rd player at his position to rush for 1,000 yards in a season. You know who the other 2 are? You better know.
Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick.
You're damn right. 2 of the best. And Jalen Hurts is also the youngest quarterback in NFL history to start 13-1. Jalen Hurts is at a point right now. This is what I like about Jalen Hurts, because he can come out and have a poor first half and then come out in the second half and drop 300 on your head, no problem. Had the 3 rushing touchdowns as well. I know the box score is going to look a little bit shaky when you don't look at the rushing touchdowns, because he didn't throw for a passing touchdown in this game. But Jalen Hurts, man, 22 of 37 for 315 yards. He did have the 2 interceptions in the first half. I'd put both the interceptions on him. The one that he tried to get there to A.J. Brown, pretty much in double coverage, the ball comes up short.
The other one, though, it looked like the receiver, he thought the receiver was going to be cutting in. Like, that one I wouldn't put on Jalen Hurts. That was on a miscommunication.
A little subjective.
Yeah.
I thought they were both throws that he could have, went without making. But a lot of mistakes in this game outside of the 2 interceptions. You had the 1 fumble from Miles Sanders as well. You had Philadelphia missed a field goal up by 4 points in the fourth quarter that really could have, really put the first nail in the coffin on the Chicago Bears. And also down by 4 points in the third quarter, Bears wide receiver Velus Jones fumbles in Philadelphia territory on an end around. It's like, yo, dog, protect the ball, man. You're ruining things here for your boy Justin Fields, who had a day for sure. But Jalen Hurts, man, he had 17 rushes for 61 yards. He had the 3 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts tied Randall Cunningham for most touchdowns in the season by an Eagles quarterback. It surprised me when I saw Randall Cunningham was the record holder for that as well. The Eagles, I think, are getting just a little bit too obsessed with trying to get the big play. And I think you kind of got to do that, especially in a game like this where you made the mistakes early on. But Hurts threw 12 passes of 20-plus yards downfield yesterday. It's the most by any quarterback in any game this entire season. So this narrative about Jalen Hurts, dinking and dunking, y'all need to take that up, ball it up, and just throw it in the garbage because it's not facts. It's not facts at all. Jalen Hurts also coming into this game had the best QBR with throws over 20-plus yards, and he had 10 touchdowns passing and 0 interceptions. All of those were number 1 in the NFL right now. So I love what I'm seeing out of Jalen Hurts. He finds a way to win games, even when things aren't quite going the Philadelphia Eagles' way, which that was the case in this game throughout. They pretty much had a 1-score lead throughout this game. And all the targets, this was the other thing I noticed about this game when I went back and looked at it. All the targets are going to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Literally all the damn targets. Devonta Smith had 5 receptions for 126. He's the guy that kept it going when A.J. Brown was struggling in the first half.
The pass on the sideline that Hurts threw over the DB right into the basket to Devonta Smith. I mean, that's a clinic. It's a clinic.
There's a thing that Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts have that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts don't have yet. Mm-hmm. It's a chemistry thing. The throws are more on the button when they go to Devonta Smith. When you see A.J. Brown has the most yards on the slant route of any wide receiver in the NFL this year. It's either a slant route or it's him wide open down the field on a one-on-one, lob up, 50-50 ball, A.J. Brown taking care of business. Or, as of late, you've been seeing him down there just wide open, just literally no one around him, backpedaling, ball short, walking into the end zone. But in this game, in particular, the targets is what stood out to me. And a lot of people in the Philadelphia Eagles community were saying that Jalen Hurts was targeting A.J. Brown a little bit too much in this game. Now, for your number 1 wide receiver to get 16 targets, that's something. He had 9 receptions for 180 yards, 16 targets. Ridiculous. Devonta Smith, 5 receptions for 126 yards on 8 targets. The next highest targets of any pass catcher on that Philadelphia Eagles team was Kenneth Gainwell, and he had 2 targets. He had 2 receptions for 9 yards. Everybody else on that whole entire team had 1 target. Miles Sanders, I think they didn't give him the ball enough in this game. The fumble probably had a lot to do with it, but he only had 11 rushing attempts in this game. Now, I want to talk about the other quarterback because I set this whole, matchup based around the 2 quarterbacks. We knew they were both going to ball out. This was one of the better games by Justin Fields. He was 14 to 21 for 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. QBR's kind of mid-pack, 41.4. Or 41.1. He had 15 rushes for 95 yards, 6.3 yards per carry. The huge run when he stepped out of bounds, and he should have really scored. His toe barely touched that white line. He ends up making 2 other defenders miss.
That was insane, bro.
Ridiculous running, man. Ridiculous running. Now, with him, we're looking at all these great targets and great wide receiver play for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm not taking anything away from Jalen Hurts. He still is that guy for sure. But when you look at the Bears and you look at the surrounding talent around Justin Fields, they have the worst surrounding talent around a quarterback in the NFL. And it might be a little bit of recency bias by me, but I've not seen Daniel Jones deal with such a bad game from the pass catchers like how Justin Fields dealt with in this game. Now, Baby St. Brown, Equanimous, little Baby St. Brown, he was injured on his first reception. Justin Fields' leading wide receiver had 39 yards on 2 receptions. It was Byron Pringle. You know, one touchdown, I'll give him that. The Bears O-line looks like the worst offensive line in the whole entire league. Justin Fields was running around for his whole entire life, the whole entire game. I think that a lot of people underrate Justin Fields' arm talent too. There's some throws that he makes where I'm just like, damn, like this kid can throw on the run. He's got zip. He's literally got the whole entire package as far as, you know, what you need to be a franchise quarterback. I think Justin Fields has it all. He was sacked 6 times in this game, and he was under pressure the whole entire game. Hassan Reddick had 33.3% pressure rate in this game. So Justin Fields only dropped back 21 times. That means Hassan Reddick was in his face on 7 of the 21 dropbacks. He had 2 sacks in this game as well. Josh Sweat had 6 tackles, 2 quarterback sacks, 2 quarterback hits, and 3 tackles for a loss. Philadelphia has now recorded 6 or more sacks in 3 straight games for the first time in franchise history. We talking about all through them Reggie White years. Seth Joyner, we know that defense was stacked back in the day. Yeah. And never did they have 6+ sacks in 3 straight games. But, you know, I'm starting to feel for Justin Fields because he's a one-man band over there. They've really got nothing going for him at all. You got a little bit of a running game from Montgomery, and that's really about it. Everything else is predicated on what he can do with his legs, and it almost looks like he's trying to buy time to get defenders kind of like off balance so that he can run down the field. But in return, he's taking a lot of sacks, man. 6 times in one game is not a good vibe. But this battle, this matchup between the 2 quarterbacks, I think it was fairly even. But, you know, with Jalen Hurts, man, I just think, you know, the weaponry that he has over there definitely helped him out in this game. And that it factor that he has when the game starts to, you know, getting a little bit of loom and hey, it's time for me to make a play. Jalen Hurts always seems to make a play.
And that's why he's the MVP. Without a doubt.
I'm not there with you on that, though. I'm not there with you on that.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm still going Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a race. It's a race
look
for
at
sure.
The weapons. Look at the weapons, man. Mahomes just got Kelsey. And he's dogging Jalen Hurts in yards and touchdowns. He's dogging him.
I don't know. I mean,
you added the rushing touchdowns. It helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Passing-wise, he's dogging him. He's already at 4,000 yards.
Yeah, but we're talking about most valuable player, not most valuable quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like
we're talking about most valuable player, but the topic at hand is 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but you have to include the rushing touchdowns too.
Of course you do.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, the ability to, if things aren't working in one aspect of the game, the ability to turn it on in the other aspect to win the game for your team is just something that is special to me. You know what I'm saying?
For Jalen Hurts, but not Patrick Mahomes?
But if Patrick Mahomes was running through two interceptions and then ran for 3 touchdowns, hell, I'd say the same thing.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for 4 when it happens like that. That's how you're going to do.
Yeah.
The more spectacular plays, too. And I look at the surrounding cast. Patrick Mahomes does not have a wide receiver on his roster that he can throw the ball to 16 times in a game.
Well, he has Travis Kelce.
That's why I said a wide receiver.
Well, I mean, but
you gonna throw it to Travis Kelce 16 times?
Tight end is
I'll bet everything I love. He ain't got one game with 16 targets to Travis Kelce. I'll bet everything.
I think he's got, if not 16, he definitely has multiple double-digit targets this year.
Of course, but 16,
but close to 16.
Ridiculous.
I'd say
your B being a guy in Devonta Smith. You have 2. Show me a game where Patrick Mahomes has 2 pass catchers go over 130 yards.
There's probably 7 of those games
this year.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll do my digging. I will say Patrick Mahomes seems like he's working with way less talent. And you know me, I'll never go to that card with Jalen Hurts about the talent. But when you look at the running back position with Philadelphia, Miles Sanders is a top 5 running back in the league. Pachenko, McKinnon.
Yeah, but see, this is the weird thing is that with the way that the Kansas City
Jalen Hurts got a tight end that's top 5.
Look, they said Travis Kelce has one with 17 earlier this year.
Well, there you go. You got one.
So the thing is, it's an interesting comparison because I totally agree with you. The 1A, 1B, or 1 and 2 of AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are clearly better. But I feel like I don't know. A lot of that probably has to do with Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's why he's obviously right there. He could be. Like, if Mahomes won MVP, I wouldn't be like, it's an outrage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you started the segment with this statement, not
I
me.
I did. And I think it's a healthy conversation because I believe that if I had to give my MVP rankings right now, it would be Jalen Hurts 1, Mahomes 2, Burrow 3, and Josh Allen 4. That's my MVP top 4
Josh
right
Allen
there.
just seems like he's turned the ball over way too much to be the MVP this year.
That's why he's at number 4.
Yeah, but I might even go, because are we talking most valuable player? Because when Saquon is on, he's a very valuable player for the New York Giants.
I think if the Giants had a better record, if the Giants had a better record and he didn't have that game, that like 3-4 game stretch where he didn't go over 100 yards, then I would say yeah. Because you're totally right. Because if you take, and I think that this is something that you have to, Tua's number 5, Ben. Tua's number 5 for me.
No way. No.
He's number 5.
So average, man.
No, listen, that's fine. But
not no MVP, man. No
way. He's got to be in the conversation. He was in the conversation.
When they lost to San Francisco, bro, his stock plummeted as far as
100%. I will agree with you.
And then what was the last game? What was the last game?
He showed up again. He showed up against Buffalo.
Is that
Tua showed up against Buffalo?
I feel like there was 2 games in a row. I feel like it was the 49ers game and the Chargers game. Yeah, the primetime game. He didn't show up, man.
He didn't show up. But I mean, like, to me, in back to this game, Justin Fields, that run, everything about Justin Fields is he's gotten better and better as the season has progressed. And I think a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff and the way that they've adjusted their play calling. They were able to run the ball against Philadelphia. Obviously, a lot of that had to do with Justin Fields, 157 yards on the ground as a team in that game. I was also, Brown and Smith combined 307 receiving yards. It's insane. No Miles Sanders in the passing game, I thought was a little weird for me too. You talked about, him not really running the ball a lot. He only had 1 reception in this game, and it went for like negative 13 yards or something weird like that. I thought that was weird.
Is like, if you ain't wearing that number 11, I ain't throwing you the ball.
I thought that was weird because Miles Sanders is usually a big part of their passing game, and I think obviously they used Kenneth Gainwell a little bit more in this game, and I think that took away from some of his targets as well. Chicago shot themselves in the foot time after time in this game, 6 penalties. And the big thing is you talk about this, the windows. They had those 3 turnovers. How many points do you think the Chicago Bears got off of those 3 Philadelphia Eagle turnovers?
I'm going to say 6.
7 points.
7 points. So 1
You want to win against a 1-loss team? You damn sure better take care of opportunities and score off of turnovers. And the Bears didn't do that. This game was a lot closer than it really should have been. But, I mean, we both believed that this game was going to be as close as it was. We both picked the Bears to cover in this game. So, I just think that Philadelphia finds a way to win. They just do. They're when they play complete football, it's scary because when they play incomplete football, they still find a way to win. So, and obviously, Jalen Hurts got banged up in this game, and that's something that we're gonna be monitoring. Throughout the week. He says he's gonna play. The coaching staff says we'll see. It doesn't matter to me. Gardner Minshew, one of the best backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. You find me a guy that's better than Gardner Minshew that plays backup.
Tyrod Taylor.
Nah, Tyrod Taylor's not better than Gardner Minshew. He's good. I love Tyrod Taylor. You already know that. But Gardner Minshew is the guy. Gardner Minshew. If you need a guy, like this is the thing. Like a lot of times when you think of backup quarterback, right? You think about the guy holding like movie wise, right? But when Gardner Minshew comes in as backup quarterback, it's like he already knows he's a rock star. Like you don't never got to worry about the moxie with him. You know what I'm saying? So,
but he can fall flat and turn the ball over at times. We saw him come in for his first relief as a backup and ball way out. Like he had that crazy game where his dad was at the stadium and whatnot. They were following him into the tunnel and all that.
Dude,
but then his second performance wasn't as good.
It's interesting you say that because he has his touchdown to interception ratio is like one of the best of quarterbacks in the last like 5 to 7 years. Like he has he has like 70 touchdowns and like 20 interceptions.
One year or 2 years with Jacksonville, where the second year they started to bench him like halfway through, right?
Yeah, because they were trying to get the pick.
Yeah. I tweeted out the other day that Gardner Minshew would be a good bridge quarterback for somebody, but it don't seem like Philadelphia.
And what did I comment on that?
I can't remember. What'd you say?
I said future Commanders QB1.
Oh yeah, y'all can't do that though. Y'all got to go get a guy. You can't be playing this quarterback carousel garbage no more. None of this average bringing.
We're gonna need a guy. We're gonna need a guy before the guy. He's the bridge.
Your boy Gardner Minshew is like a little bit of a better version than what you got right now.
He's a lot better than Taylor Heineke, but we'll save that conversation for another day.
It's gonna
be a lot of fun.
Shout
out to Awthentik for letting everybody know we're gonna be here on the off season because that's gonna be a great conversation for the off season, and this is a great one right here. Shout out to Kai. Mount Rushmore of backup quarterbacks. Are we talking about like right now in the league?
Mount Rushmore, bro.
Or are we talking about all time backup?
It's all time, Mount Rushmore.
Right now, all time backup quarterbacks.
Jeff Hostetler, right off the bat. Doug Williams was a backup.
He was
good too.
Nick Foles.
He definitely got to be up there. I mean, he won a damn Super Bowl. Got to be up there. It was short lived, but he won a Super Bowl. Jacoby Brissett, got to be up there.
Really?
Dog, he's been the same quarterback as a backup on all these different teams, man. Ryan Fitzpatrick's
got to be up there. We got to put Ryan Fitzpatrick up there.
Fitzpatrick is up there.
Frank Reich is a good name, too.
No, Frank Reich was awful. He stunk it up. You remember they had to go back to who was the because remember somebody got hurt.
He led the greatest playoff comeback of all time.
He did, but he was a joke, bro. He was a joke when they figured him out. Nah, I can't go with him. Because they was going back to like Doug Flutie or something like that.
Rob Johnson. No, Doug Flutie was Doug Flutie or Rob Johnson.
Maybe I'm thinking about Rob Johnson. He was awful.
You think about Rob Johnson.
Yeah, he was straight
Jeff
garbage.
Garcia?
He was a beast. Jeff Garcia was a beast with Philly and with San Fran.
Jeff Garcia wasn't bad. Geno Smith?
Not as a backup, no.
Yeah.
He didn't have no good years. He's just really been a beast this year.
That's an interesting. That's a very tough one because you kind of have to have like some sort of parameters to set, right? Like, do you have to have more starts as a non-starter to be considered the best backup? You know what I'm saying?
It's just if you a backup. You was a backup quarterback starting the year, man. You didn't turn out to be a starting quarterback in this league. You were Cade McCown or whatever. You know, one of them guys. That Chase backup.
Chase Daniels.
He was getting the bag, but he wasn't that good. He was actually pretty some garbage for real. I never liked
Kurt
him.
Warner.
Kurt Warner, yeah, he was a backup for a while until they figured it out.
Colt McCoy.
That's like saying Dak Prescott is a backup too, though. So I don't think we could put Kurt Warner there. Colt McCoy.
I mean, he's won some big games as a backup quarterback.
Colt McCoy is some cut, man.
the Mike White. I mean, he hasn't done much though.
Mike White's done probably more than Colt McCoy already.
Yeah, no.
Colt McCoy's got the game with New York against Seattle. He's got the game last year with the Cardinals where he put up. And
he's got the big game against Dallas on Thanksgiving for the Washington.
So three games. Mike White got 3 games, man.
Don't ever talk to me about Ben DiNucci. Ben DiNucci might have been the worst quarterback we have ever seen in the last 10 years.
Too. Nathan
Peterman, yes, was pretty bad.
Yeah, I got to go Jeff Hostetler and yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Jeff Hostetler. I'm going Jeff Hostetler. Nick Foles, man, you can't. Dog, he came in and had like his touchdown interception ratio that year was ridiculous. It was like 29-2 or something crazy.
The chat is on fire right now. Fabian says the GOAT of all backup quarterbacks.
Tom Brady. Yeah, I don't consider Tom Brady no backup, though.
What? Taysom Hill? Yeah, Taysom Hill is not a good quarterback. He's a great football player, but he is not a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's not.
He is what that is what Tim Tebow should have been. Jeff Rutledge,
that's throwback. Cooper Rush is a good one. That is a good one. I mean, 5 games, he's balled out.
Good backup quarterback right now.
What about I got one for you. What about Matt Schaub?
He was the backup for Mike Vick in Atlanta before he got the bag. Matt McGloin. Oh my God, you guys are pulling
Throwback.
some names. Benny says Commanders had all the backup quarterbacks.
Y'all had mad backup quarterbacks. I'm trying to think of anybody else that stepped in and really balled out. I can't really think about them.
It's tough. It's not easy, man.
Yeah, so now that we're talking about backups and whatnot, what you think about this right here? Jalen Hurts is dealing with a sprained shoulder. Would you rest him versus the Cowboys this week?
No.
You play him?
I wouldn't rest him. You know what I'm saying? If he can go and it's not an issue, then he plays.
It's a sprained shoulder, man. You know what it is. Think of a sprained ankle. Let's say you sprained your ankle on Monday. You want to send yourself out there on their game's on Sunday, I believe.
Saturday. They play on
they're on Saturday. So they one less day then if it's Saturday.
Yeah. No, I don't rest him.
I think I keep Jalen Hurts on the bench.
If it's an issue, then yeah,
they're not. It's a good time to like let him get. Because here's the thing: is like I just don't want him to re-aggravate the injury if I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So in this game, I know it was led up to be a big game, but because the Dallas Cowboys lost, it doesn't have any meaning behind it.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys can still win the division. I mean, you know me. I think the Cowboys are going to lose no matter who plays quarterback.
Can they? Who won the first matchup? Can the Cowboys get a better record than Philly? Philly has 13 wins right now.
Yeah, if the
Cowboys got 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so if the Cowboys won their next 3 and then Philadelphia lost 3, they'd have the same record, but Philly don't got more divisional wins?
I don't know. It'd have to come down.
I thought I heard, maybe one of the Cowboys fans in the chat could let us know, but I thought I heard that because they lost this game to the Jaguars, they could clinch the playoffs with the Giants win, but they can't win the division. But you're saying they could win the division.
Yeah.
Sean G says Dallas would have to win out and Philly would have to lose out.
Yeah. I mean, which we don't think is going to happen, but anything's possible.
We got time.
Anything is definitely possible. But I guess maybe I'm just more upset about the wording, the rest him. If he's hurt, then don't play him.
I tried to make it as clear as I could for you. It's a sprained shoulder. It's like a sprained ankle, man. I don't know how many of those you've dealt with. I've dealt with a ton of sprained ankles,
I've
broken collarbone.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be a quarterback to have a shoulder injury, right? And if you have multiple weeks, because you don't want to try to rest him against New York and then risk having 3 weeks of him sitting on the bench, why not just get it the hell out the way right now? That's my thinking on it. Like, get it out the way right now. It's a Christmas game that I think doesn't have much implications unless they lose out. But I'm about to check into that right now. If that's the case, I let him rest the shoulder. You saw the hit? Did you see the hit?
No, I didn't see
it was bad. It was extremely all the weight from a defensive lineman on him. It squished his 2 shoulders together with the ground. So it's like, to me, it looked like a collarbone break.
I wouldn't be mad at them resting him, obviously. Like, I'm not one of those ridiculous fans out there.
Would you, is what I'm asking. This man be just pulling the craziest, like, wazing all over the damn place. Would you rest him? You say no, you wouldn't rest him? Even if he's banged up, you wouldn't rest him?
I'd leave it up to him.
Okay, so as far as the divisional wins, both teams are 3-1 in the division right now. And have the exact same. Oh, that's crazy. They have the same exact percentage in the division as well, too. Okay. Road-wise, the Eagles are 7-0, 6-1 at home. Dallas is 7-1 at home. And Dallas, what are their next 3 games? They got y'all the last game. They got the Eagles here on Christmas Eve. And then in between that
I don't remember their in-between game.
Take a look at that one. Full schedule one time.
Titans.
They got the Titans. So they
Thursday night football.
They have 2 more. Both teams have 2 more division games. So Eagles are going to have to win 1 more game than them or a division game, and Cowboys hope to lose. I think I rest Jalen Hurts. And you was talking all that talk about Gardner Minshew. We know he's a good backup quarterback. He could go out there and beat Dallas.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not. I that's why I think I don't really care who's playing quarterback. I think Philly's going to win that game.
I got you. That's going to be a good one. Make sure y'all pull up on Thursday for the preview show, man. These days and these weeks are flying by right now. But the Philadelphia Eagles definitely dealing with a big injury here with Jalen Hurts. We'll see how this plays out throughout the week. I still think you rest him, man. Sprained shoulder just happened on Sunday. Let the man get right. Unless he completely recovers. They didn't rule him out. Nick Sirianni said he's not going to rule him out until they get, a little bit further in progression in the week. So we'll see how that one goes. But let's get off into.
It's a good point, and that pretty much is speaks to what Awthentik is saying too.
Yeah, I mean that's why you paying the guy the money to be the backup, so he could come in and possibly win you a game. The Dallas Cowboys played it really good. They waited for Dak Prescott to get completely fully healthy before they put him back in the lineup. We know how the hand injuries work. We saw it with Russell Wilson last year. He struggled like all hell when he came back in the lineup. For me, this is not about a rivalry game against the Dallas Cowboys. For me, this is about you already know you about to be that number 1 seed. Go out there, do what you got to do. And, just go, use your backup. 2 more games you got to assess Jalen Hurts. And then, you bring him in 2 weeks. A sprain, 2 weeks for a sprain is so much better than 1 week. So much better.
Makes sense.
Benny got a fantasy question real quick where he's saying golf or Lamar Jackson this weekend. I'd go golf.
Yeah, you got to go
Lamar
golf.
coming off the injury.
Yeah, you got to go golf. Golf is going off.
Yeah, golf's been playing really good football, man.
Damn Lions.
All right, well, let's get into this, this Sunday night football matchup with everything on the line. Washington Commanders take the L one time. Let's go ahead and bring this one up one time.
Are on the board with 11:16 to go here in the third.
Took a big stretch there during that little
I saw that.
break,
I saw that. I was like, oh, that 3-hour stream from earlier is starting to come back.
We've been at it. We definitely been at it. I got some good food in the system, though, so we're gonna hold it down, man. Ain't no time limit on tonight. We're gonna let the beard do his ranting, do his thing. You want to start with the roadmap? Or you want me to set it up? You want me to set it up?
I don't even. I threw the roadmap away.
Y'all, you damn right. Y'all lost the roadmap. All right, man. My New York Giants, man, improved to 8-5-1. Took care of business at FedEx Field. The flex at FedEx end up winning that game 20-12. The Giants end their 4-game winless streak and improved to 8-5-1. First division win of the year. Big shout out to the Giants Nation and the gang one time. We definitely needed that. We could not back our way into the playoffs with no division wins. That was not going to be the vibe. The Giants are 4-2 on the road this season, man. Still got games against the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. Ended their 11-game losing streak in primetime. And could it be a better story? It had to happen at FedEx, man. It was a beautiful thing. I was there for it, something I'll never forget. Giants took the lead 14-3 when Saquon Barkley rushed in for a 3-yard touchdown run. Kayvon Thibodeau to strip sack, man. What would we do without Kayvon Thibodeau in this game, man? His pregame speech was on fire, man. His team was completely ready for this moment. That's the one thing I will say. Whether the personnel is the greatest personnel and they were, up for that task or not, I don't know about the personnel, but mentally, these guys were locked in and ready to win this game. A win against the Vikings next week pushes us to 99% chances of making the playoffs. So we about to go out there and handle business against Kirk Cousins and those Minnesota Vikings. This game was awful on third down. The Giants were 2 for 10. Washington was 1 for 10. Their one lone conversion came in the fourth quarter. Washington Commanders were 1 for 3 in the red zone. The Giants were 1 for 1. We got to get more attempts. I know everybody been talking about New York Giants red zone offense, much improved this year. Red zone defense, much improved this year as well. But on the offensive side of the ball, you got to figure out a way to get more attempts, man. You need more red zone attempts. Giants definitely were not getting that in this game. We pressured Heineke on 44% of his dropbacks since week 8. The New York Giants are getting pressure on 36% of their pass rushes. That's third in the NFL. Seems like the Washington Commanders got away from the run a little bit, but we did go through and dissect each drive in the second half. There just wasn't a lot of drives in the second half of this game. Washington had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives in the second half, and the New York Giants had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives in the second half, and then we ended the game. 2 plays, kneeled the ball out to go into the victory formation and win this game 20-12. You want to start maybe talking about the 2 calls? I'll bring up some points that I talked about in the Giant overreaction, and we'll see how you feel about it. Let's start with the illegal formation on Terry McLaurin. What was your thoughts on that whole thing?
All right. Well, and I did find the roadmap, so we will revisit that. And before I get to those calls, I want to give a big shout out to Crypto Moves for the $4.20 super chat. Says all good, Beard. We all going to the playoffs. LMF GGG.
Let's
Shout out
I like
Crypto
that. Shout out Crypto Moves. That's
Moves.
3 donations today at 420, man. Big salute to you, man. And you know we smoking that pack today. It's burgundy.
Oh. I saw the New York Giants tweeted a picture of the Jordans in the burgundy.
I did see that. They reaching a little bit. I think they need to hire me on their social media department. They're not. I don't know about some of them. They ain't the vibes. Ain't the vibes. The shoes. They had like another like Wheel of Fortune thing. Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. We ain't on goofy time over here in New York. Y'all know what it is, man.
Spike don't care.
I will tell you my thoughts on the Terry McLaurin play. First off, it's ticky tacky. You know, it's you don't see that called like that. Really, and it's a little weird because you see Terry McLaurin look at the official. He asks the official. The official appears to tell him to move up. Okay, which Terry McLaurin does, but he's still not at the line of scrimmage even when he moves up again. And according to Terry McLaurin, the ref told him that he was good. And I think that's the biggest mix-up here. Now, Some people are saying, well, why didn't he move up more? And then people are saying the ref had his hand on his hip for the flag no matter what. Okay, the answer to both of those questions is the same. So if you really look at the play, after he moves up, Dyami Brown starts to go in motion. So if Terry McLaurin moves up again while Dyami Brown is in motion, then you have an illegal motion penalty. That's why the ref had his hand on the flag to begin with, because he said if Terry McLaurin moves up another step while Dyami Brown is in motion, then they're going to throw the flag for illegal motion.
That's on the quarterback. That's on the quarterback if that's the case, because you got to make sure everybody is set before you send a guy in motion.
Yeah, so it is, I mean, it's one of those things that's an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's unfortunate that happens at that point in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm a Giants fan, I'm taking it all day, man. Yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Washington fan, I'm going to be upset, but I'm obviously not one of the people who's going to sit here and blame the refs. Because if you score a touchdown and they call it a non-touchdown and it's an obvious touchdown and then you you lose the game on that, then yeah, you blame the refs. But you don't blame the refs on a penalty that you score a touchdown on for losing the game. And Awthentik said it the best way possible during the Giant overreaction. He said, I don't want to mess it up, but you said something along the lines of, the refs may have had a play in extending the Commanders' opportunities at a win. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't win the game, not win the game because of this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to get set. I mean, you can see when he moves up a little bit, he doesn't do anything with his back foot. He just inches his front toe a little bit up more. And it just looked like it's a little bit rushed, and maybe that's why. You bringing up the motion thing is a really good point that I didn't even think about. But once that guy's in motion, what can you do? I don't know the protocol of what players do if they know they're not set when a guy is in motion. But I think that the quarterback has to. You're trying to get a quick play off too, especially when you're going to hand it off to Brian Robinson. You're trying to not let the defense see what you're doing. So you're kind of trying to hurry up, bang, take this and get in the end zone, and your guy's not set. It was clear as day that he wasn't on the line. The big part to me that is I can't give Terry McLaurin a pass on it. The ball's on the 1 yard line, bro. You got to be on the line.
Yeah.
And to be on the 1 yard line, that's the easiest place to be able to figure out, okay, dog, I need to be about 1 and a little chunk. They give you a yard where they say that your belt has to be on the line.
Yeah.
So you got space, I think maybe you're right about the motion thing where he sends his man in motion, and then that really ruins it because if he moves, you're screwed.
Yeah, and this is interesting. Yam says that's only the second time he's ever been called for that in over 3,600 snaps across college and the NFL. But it's
here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. You can't say it's not on Terry McLaurin because it's not like another player lined up in the wrong spot, right? How can we? It's been however many snaps since he's had that happen, but that don't mean it's not his fault because it didn't happen 3,600 times. Doesn't mean it's not his fault. We've seen this thing blowed up. a bunch of times already. He's far off the line. It's not like he's close. He's far off the line. To me, when you're on the 1 yard line right there, that can't happen. Even if you got to call timeout, it can't happen.
Yeah, and listen, shout out to Kevin at PRF for the $5 super chat. It says, we got hosed on 3 bad calls by the same line judge, but the Commanders did way more to hose themselves. That's the bottom line right here. Like, for some people, it's there can be no in between, and that's what drives me crazy about fans in general. It's like, yeah, the calls were bad. They were really weird, and there were some missed calls, but that's not why you lost, right? And then you can say that a call was bad and not be blaming the refs for the loss. Like, some people think that you can't say a call was bad and not also at the same time believe that the refs were the reason why you lost the game. So it was weird. And when we were in the stadium, we had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
We just thought it was a offsides penalty.
We thought it was a touchdown first, and then we see the flag. We're like, what the hell is this? Like,
and then we thought it was a delayed game. Chris Peace was saying, some people were saying it was a delayed game. So it was a really weird situation. And in today's NFL and society in general, things like that are going to be magnified. It's just, that's the way that things work right now.
And it seems that this one, though, is like, as the day went on throughout Monday and then today, it's fizzling away. I'm just not seeing it as much. And I just think it's because the referees, it's not like they really called this game in the favor of the New York Giants.
Yeah, there was bad calls. There were bad calls on both sides.
Oh, yeah, a bunch of them. And I wanted to get your thoughts too, because I gave my thoughts on the non-PI call at the end of the game on Darnay Holmes as well. And I don't know if you've got a chance to really go back and look at that and look at the slow-mo footage and all that. And what's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, it was pass interference. It is what it is. It didn't get called. They let them play it out. I mean, it wasn't as egregious as it's so easy to slow things down and see it. It's so easy to freeze frame it and make a meme out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, easy.
That's all easy. In real time, it wasn't as egregious as when you see it slow down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the other one, too, I see Ben asking about the offensive pass interference on Dotson. I hate that call, whether it's for Washington, New York, anybody. Unless it's a clear, because it's a pick play. This is
so that one they didn't call, though, right? They didn't call that.
They called that offensive pass interference on Dotson.
That was the right call. That was the right call.
See, I disagree with that.
You
because
can't block when the ball's in the air. It's cheating.
No, I understand that, but he didn't block when the ball was in the air.
Yes, he did.
His arms were not extended.
He's not running a route.
He was running a route, but his arms were not extended. That's the difference.
I'm gonna show it to you when we get off air. Again,
if his arms were extended, then yes, but his arms were not extended.
You're thinking too much like pass interference, like push off. Your arms don't gotta be. Let me explain real quick. Your arms don't have to be extended to be a blocker.
In that particular play, the reason when they call that penalty, it's on a pick play for offensive pass interference, is when the wide receiver is extending his arms.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. That is when they call that as pass interference.
We've had it called on us a ton this year. It's not when you're extending arms. Kadarius Toney had one where he was going across the middle
and that's why I hate
the wide receiver, and they called offensive pass interference. This is the call. You have to be running a route. You cannot
go. He was running a route.
Let me give you
the guy ran in front of him.
No,
what's he supposed to do?
Let me ask you something. You think Scott Turner designed that play for him to run a route, or for him to make a block?
For him to run a route, but run it like a pick play.
Crazy.
That's what they're supposed to do. What do you think they designed it? Exactly. But you have to run a route. You still have to run a route. It's not like they just let's call a play where we're gonna get pass interference. They'll just do that.
You're taking what I said out of context. What I'm saying is that play is designed for the slot wide receiver to get in the way of the defender on purpose.
Yes.
He got there early. That's why they called it.
But the defender got to him early because he saw what was happening. He was trying to jump it. He got in the way of the route.
He didn't try to sidestep the defender and get to his route. He tried to get in the defender's way.
I don't know. We'll rewatch it, but I personally hate that call. No matter how it turns,
I love that call.
I hate it. I think it's stupid
because you got to understand how people would abuse that if they didn't have that rule in the book. Imagine if you could do that downfield. Imagine if when the ball was in the air, I could literally leave my wide receiver or leave my defender and go set a block for you. Think about that.
That's you're taking it completely out of context. He's running a route, but it's designed to mess up the coverage 100%.
Right. He's designed to get in the way.
If he just stops and picks him like we're playing pick and roll on the basketball court, then yeah, that's ridiculous. But if you're continuously running and you don't extend to block, and you still are running a route, and you happen to
I retweeted it after the game, like, look at this shit. He's so obvious.
Well, I mean, listen, I know what you're saying.
Obvious. And you say I want to just make it clear to you. You're saying that I'm like taking it too far, right? But how do you write the rule if you can't do it downfield because they're above the line of scrimmage? So what is it going to be within 3 yards? Is that what you're saying?
As long as you're running a route,
yeah, he's not.
It's fine. Okay, that's where we disagree. I believe he's running a route.
My thing is like, if you write the rules where you take it out the way you want that to be out of the rule book, if that happens down the field, that's not fair.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying is that as long as you're running your route and you don't extend to block and physically pick
you're
the
saying
player,
incidental contact. I'm not talking about incidental contact. We both agreed, right, that play is set up for him to set a pick. You agree with that, right?
Yes, legally.
You can't set a pick legally.
Well, it's not It's not a literal pick that you're supposed to be setting. What you're supposed to be doing is running a route that causes traffic amongst the defenders.
And then that's where I think he didn't do a good job of selling that.
Okay, I could, in that sense, you could be right, I could be wrong.
Is holding the ball to throw it, and he's already engaging with the defender.
Some people are saying that it was a pick. Some people are saying I'm crazy.
You can't pick. In football, when the ball is in the air, you cannot purposely pick somebody.
Exactly. So what happens all right, this is my question then. If the ball is in the air and I'm running my route and a defender runs into me and gets in the way of my route running, now I'm at fault because the defender got in my way of running my route? If I didn't extend my arms to block him when the ball was in the air?
If he runs directly into you and he engages in the contact, I'm okay with them putting that on, the defender and not calling the PI there.
Okay. So I could be just seeing the play wrong. You know what I'm saying? But
I retweeted it. I wish I could pull it up. It's going to be so many tweets back. But he's blocking before the ball is in the air. He's already engaging him. The defender's trying to actually get around him because the whole thing is you have a corner who's sitting in cover 2 right there. He runs his route right to the corner. And then he tries to get in his way. The corner is trying to push him to his inside to get to the outside. And that's Jahan Dotson, I believe, who it is, who's extended pretty much. And he's trying to make a block. He's not trying to run a route. And they're right by the pylon. So it's like, where are you running your route to, bro?
He was running the route to the inside, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm pretty sure he was trying to cut to the inside.
The block came from the slot.
Yeah.
Towards the outside.
He was trying to go inside.
No, our outside corner was trying to get outside leverage, and Jahan Dotson was in his way. I'll show it to you. I'll find it for you. I don't want to try to find it on air, but I'll find it for you.
Big shout out to Zeke Anderson for the $5 super chat. Says, my guys, Giants all day. Beard, it was a pick on purpose.
100%. I'm surprised you're arguing it because and you can't remove it. You can't take that call away. You would ruin the passing game if you tried to remove that. Because then people would just be getting in people's way like, I didn't extend my arms, and creating all kinds of space for wide receivers in man coverage. It's a man coverage beater. It's supposed to beat man coverage.
Well, we'll take a look at it, and if I am proven wrong, I will make sure to announce my wrongness in the play. But I
wish I could find it. It'd be really good to find it.
At this point in time, I feel as if that particular play was a little sketchy on the offensive pass interference call. And on the defensive pass interference call, you could throw the flag there. You should probably throw the flag there. I think most people would agree that was defensive pass interference. But once again,
if you're going to throw and I'm glad you got to that too, because I almost forgot about that. You saw Kayvon Thibodeau illegal hands to the face on that same play?
Yeah.
So, if we asked for perfection out of the referees, let's get it. They would have redid the down. It would have been 4th and whatever from the 5-yard line or whatever. 6-yard line because the illegal formation.
Yeah, so we would have replayed that down as opposed to it being first down, half the distance to the goal. If they would have just
and I was asking people about that too. If you get a pass interference in the end zone and it's not holding, I don't think it's automatic first down.
Yeah, it is. It's automatic.
Sure.
Pass interference or holding on
pass interference is always an automatic first down. If I get a pass interference call 6 yards and it's 3rd and 15, I don't think it's automatic first down.
I'm pretty sure both of those are automatic first downs.
Yeah, I was talking about it with them during the giant overreaction, and that's the one thing I'm unsure about because I know holding is an automatic first down. Sean G saying PI is always a first down. So even if it's 2 yards, you get automatic first down. Maybe that's something they changed over time.
Maybe. Because
if you get the pass interference, well, it would have been offsetting penalties, so you wouldn't get it. Only way is if they missed the hands to the face for Kayvon Thibodeau.
But once again,
have it 1st and goal on the 1.
Those trenches penalties are, they miss those all the time. I mean, shoot, there was the one in the the last game against the Washington Giants game when the dude literally took off the defender's helmet and they didn't call hands to the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Y'all had the one against the Eagles where the tight end gets completely raked on his face. They don't call it. We've seen it all year long. The one on Kayvon Thibodeau really wasn't in the trenches. It was on the edge. It was like
the same thing with the one they missed in the first game against us. Like it's piss poor. No matter who wins or loses and whose team is affected and not affected, it's pretty obvious. There's been a lot of piss poor officiating across the league this year. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough, and the game.
Some of it is
faster.
hard.
You saw it when we were there in person. This game looked faster than the last game I was at, which was that a whole year ago, right?
Yeah,
this game looked faster. Like the way that Daniel Jones, the time that he had in the pocket, everything looked less and everything just looked faster. Maybe it's because this was like a very like playoff atmosphere type of game, and you probably got people on all cylinders, but it just seemed like the game was just moving so fast. And being a referee is not easy. That can't be an easy job. I mean, those calls like the Terry McLaurin one, that's an easy one to make, and you would hope that the referee would kind of get you set right, but now that you're bringing up that motion thing, that really made me think about that one a lot.
Of course.
Yeah, that got me thinking because that might be why he didn't inch up more because the motion.
That part of the play. Yeah, I mean that's what I totally, you know what I'm saying? That's what the way I looked at it, I figured that was the because De'Ami Brown is in motion. It doesn't really give him he can't move at that point. Because if you move at that point, it's an illegal motion. You're getting flagged anyways. I mean, and to me, that explains why the ref has his hand on the flag from the get-go. Not only he tried to reach for that flag two times before he even pulled it out.
Yeah, he knew he was going to throw the flag 100%.
Yeah, one way or another, that flag was coming out, whether it was going to be for illegal motion or offsides, to not enough men on the line or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, I really want to show you that pick play, but I can't find it.
I feel like I'm going to be wrong based upon a lot of these people in the chat. Says Beard, when you watch it back, you're going to be like, damn, there's no way I thought this was clean. Trust it was a clear flag.
I thought they didn't call it because when I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh, they didn't call this one. They missed this, but they made the call. So at least they made the right call on the field on that one. That's good to know.
Well, and like Yam says, bottom line, win or lose, the refs really didn't. That's not the reason why Washington lost the game. So for all you Washington fans watching and on Twitter who want to spend 24 to 48 hours complaining about the refs, it's beating a dead horse. What is it? Nothing's going to change.
Y'all owed us one. Y'all owed us one.
I don't do any of that stuff.
Y'all owed us one. How did you feel when y'all won that game with Dexter Lawrence not jumping off sides and y'all get the second attempt at the kick? Didn't matter, right? You got the dub.
I thought he was offsides.
No, remember they came back out and they showed you the slow-mos NBC at replays. He wasn't offsides. The ball was moved and then he moved. You just finding this out right now. Look, see, that go to show you how much they didn't give a goddamn when it was on us.
Big shout out to Zach for the $1.99 super chat. Says NFL refs have been bad all season for all 32 teams.
Yeah, the refs have
been
tough, man.
Big shout out to Fabian for the $2 super chat. Says, come and play next time. Go Giants. My apologies. I'm usually on top of the super chats, but we got into a little bit of a conversation where if I mess up and look at the chat for 1 second, Awthentic's gonna beat me down in the debate, and I cannot allow that to happen. So I apologize for that. And then he'll be like, "What are you?" And then I'll say something that makes no sense, and he'll be like, "What are you talking about, man?"
What are you talking about here?
So I will tell you why Washington did lose. First of all, we'll take a look at the roadmap. Do you want to take a look at the roadmap? Because I found the roadmap. I went to the trash can and I uncrinkled it and I dug it out. I found the roadmap.
Take a look at the roadmap.
Yeah, you get on the freeway. What? No, turn right. Get out of the lane. No. Okay, get position. Just get out the lane.
You want to know the difference between that clip and us?
Tell me.
We didn't make it off the freeway. We got hit by that truck. That truck took us out, and that truck had New York license plates.
Oh,
okay,
I like that. You got the plates on.
Listen to this.
Gang.
All right. I said score more points. We gotta score more points. I said 24 or more. That didn't happen. We got half of that. Okay. Then I said RTDB. 40 rushes. That didn't happen. I said more run plays and pass plays. That didn't happen. Okay. More touchdowns and field goals. That didn't happen. Time of possession battle? Nope. Turnover battle? Nope. I mean, damn, dude, this is bad. Whole New York under 100 yards rushing? Nope.
Damn.
Less than
in straight struggle mode, cuz.
Less than 3 sacks allowed. You guys, how many sacks do you guys have?
We had 3.
That didn't happen either. Less than
Daniel
3
Jones'
allowed.
first time not getting sacked since 2019, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Big salute to the gang.
I said 4 or more sacks for us. That didn't happen.
Nope. Quick passing game.
We got demolished. That was the roadmap. Literally, it was all gone. Nothing happened. Nothing happened at all.
Ben Bally's texting me right now, and he's frying you.
Why is he frying me? Because he likes Taylor Heineke. That's why.
No, he's frying you because of the pick play. He's sending me screenshots and everything, dog.
Yeah,
it's not looking good for the home team.
We're gonna see, man.
We about to see right now. But what do you think I was doing? I think I'm over here just in my phone sending text messages.
No, I can't see what you seeing.
You see me over here like this, right?
No, but I'm saying I can't see the pick play right now.
Oh, we about to see it.
Oh,
come on, bro. You know the graphics department is on top of all of this, man.
Oh,
Best graphics department in the country one time. Look, he's scared. Look, he's shaking right now. Them boots is moving on him.
I might find a way out of this. I'm just going to say that. What am I looking at here?
You should be able to decipher what you're looking at here. Quarterback's at the top of the screen in the middle. Ball
Still
is
got the
still
ball
in hands.
Yeah.
Look at Jahan Dotson at the bottom of the screen. It's an out route, not an in route like you were saying. It's an out route, and he's engaged in the block, bro.
I can't. This just shows me nothing, man. This is a screenshot. This is a screenshot. I need to see the beginning and the end of that play.
I'll give you the video.
Just send me the video really quick. I'll take a look at it so you don't have to worry about getting copyright
strike. I want to show the people at home, man. Look at him trying to find a way out right now. You know good and goddamn well he's blocking right there and the ball is not in the air. He's blocking. Look at his arms. He's flexing his biceps. Oh, Ben's just on. Ben, you the man, Ben. Ben says to you, it's just like when DBs jam wide receivers. He was lined up over the top of Dotson, not an out route. Check Twitter. I commented on it. I hope you tagged me on Twitter so I can pull that one up one time for the beard, man. It don't look like Ben. Don't look like Ben comment. It doesn't look like he tagged me on Twitter though.
Yeah, that's
good for you. It's good for you. I'll give you that. It's good.
Listen,
for you.
I'm one of these guys who's not normally like this. Like if I am wrong, I will let you know 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
That wasn't enough evidence for you right there.
that was not enough evidence for me because that was a screenshot. You know how I feel about screenshots, man. You know what I'm saying?
In chat, y'all see this, right? Y'all see this? You see this movie pulling right now? You see this movie pulling right now?
I'm trying to get to the I mean that defensive pass interference is pretty bad too. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, listen, Taylor Heineke's a bum.
You talking about the one on Richie James?
Taylor
Heineke.
Taylor Heineke, you had the touchdown on the run. You idiot. He could have. All you had to do was cut back in. I'm just watching these horrible clips of the game now. How did he miss? This is the kind of game that I'm so glad we did not lose. I'm just like, Ben, you didn't tag me on Twitter, Ben. You talking about Facebook, bro? You know I don't do that baby mama platform on Facebook. Ain't the vibes, bro. Okay, hold on.
Oh, Kevin the PRF now he's with you.
What did he say?
He's saying, how is he picking the man guarding Terry? He's not. Look, you left you puzzled too. Like, now, Kevin, that's not enough evidence for me, Kevin. Dude's a pick play.
I mean, listen, when you watch it in the motion, he's going, he extends. He extends. He runs the route to the inside, like I said. But when you see it from the up top angle, I kind of see an extension.
He's blocking. Don't focus on the extension. He's blocking.
I mean, he doesn't hold the block. He runs into him and then moves. Ben says he's with me, not you.
The ball is not in the air and he's engaged. It's not even the guy that's so ridiculous, bro.
I listen. I can see why this one was called.
You can? For real?
He did a piss poor job of doing what he's supposed to do. The thing that's crazy is after he hits the guy, he turns around like, hey, pass me the ball.
It's too obvious, man. Too obvious. I'm glad the refs got that one right. No, Kevin the PRF, no. This is not right here. Every screen pass. The difference is with the screen pass, one, the ball is behind the line of scrimmage, right? And two, this is why you'll see it's been called on the Giants all the time this year, where you get an ineligible man downfield when there's pressure in the quarterback's face and he got an improv and the ball doesn't come out in time. The idea with a pick play is to get the ball out fast to the receiver so that he gets it in his hands before your other wide receivers or linemen are blocking. Simple rule, man. It's really a very simple rule, y'all. Like, you can't block when the ball's in the air. You can't block. It's that simple.
Bad timing.
It is what it is, and it ain't what it once was.
You want it, but listen, even if you get that play, it doesn't make a difference. You can't win football games when you go 1 for 10 on third down.
Yeah, that was bad. It was cold, man. It was cold. It was bad third down for
cold,
everybody.
Man. They got them big ass sleeping bag jackets on the sideline.
I mean, you was out there complaining about the cold too, bro.
But
cold.
I'm not an NFL football player.
Third down is a lot of third down has to do with passing, and the pass attack just really wasn't working with y'all.
They passed.
What did Taylor Heineke finish again?
17 of 29.
17 of 29.
249 and 1 touchdown and 2 fumbles.
The 2 fumbles really ruined y'all. It wasn't even a great game by the New York Giants, to be honest. And
they
getting away from Brian Robinson.
They passed the ball 29 times. They ran the ball 26 times.
Yeah.
It's not the team that we were. We were averaging 6.1 yards per carry. And you know how I feel about the red zone. They was 1 for 3 in the red zone.
Yeah, you can't do that.
2 turnovers.
So
0 turnovers forced.
I'm trying to think of the red zone attempts that y'all didn't get. So it's the one where Taylor Heineke fumbles, Dexter Lawrence, we scoop it, and then it's the last one? The last plays of the game. The penalty, and then the fucking sorry about that. The what you call it? The non-PI call, which was on fourth down. Yeah. Turnover on downs in the red zone.
And then the
limited.
One where 3 red zone opportunities. But I mean,
limited opportunities, man, and didn't capitalize on them. The Taylor Heineke fumble is really a big difference maker in this game, and not the Kayvon Thibodeau one. Obviously, that was a big play as well. But the one later that Dexter Lawrence gets, that's a major one.
And it sucks because
timing.
because you're in such a predicament too, because it's a third down play. So it's not like you can rush up to the line of scrimmage and run a play. you're trotting out the field goal team to kick a field goal, and it gave the Giants all the time in the world, and they saw it, and they challenged it, and they won a challenge. It was a fumble, you know what I'm saying? 100%.
Yeah, and it was super close, man. It was Taylor Heineke's going to the ground, and his knee is probably a couple inches off the ground when that ball starts to wiggle a little bit. I'm glad they showed us the replay in the stadium on that one, too. We did get a chance to see that one pretty close, but that's one of the biggest plays of the game because y'all are going to at least get 3 out of that drive right there. You know, and the Giants, we come back down and we get 3 to push the score to 8-point lead, where if you get the field goal there, you guys are only going to be down by 2 points, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I had to argue with a lot of people, too, on Twitter about the decision to go. They were blaming Ron Rivera for the missed extra point. And I had to defend that because...
Why were they blaming Rivera?
They were blaming Rivera because he decided to go for 2 at that point, which I thought made sense to go for 2 at that point in the third quarter to make it a 1-possession game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's early, but you make it a 3-point, you make it a field goal game if you get the 2-point conversion, as opposed to making it a 4-point game and you still have to score a touchdown. If you don't make the 2-point conversion, you still got to score a touchdown if you're down by 5, even if you're down by 5 and not 4, as opposed to being down 3 to go for 2-point conversion.
Did y'all fail on a 2-point conversion?
What happened was when we tried to go for 2, there was an offsides, so it pushed it back. So then instead they decided to not go for 2 anymore because of the penalty. So they brought the extra point, the kick the extra point, and he missed the extra point. And I had to tell people, he's not the one that got called for the penalty. He's not the one that missed the extra point, even though it was a little bit farther than it normally is. You still got to make that as a kicker in the National Football League.
100%.
And the decision to go for 2 was a smart decision because you cut it to 3. In a game where nobody's scoring, you want to have it to 3 instead of having to force your hand to go down the field and score a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
You can't blame him on him. I mean, it's a chip shot kick, man. Make it. It's cold, though. That weather out there, bro, you know, you got to be a different kind of animal. Your boot hurting, top of your toes all cold, and you got to go out there and kick field goals after not doing jack the whole game. You just sitting on the sideline trying to warm up and get ready for a kick. And you know, the kickers, they not no dogs or nothing. They ain't out there like Kayvon, no sleeves, you know, getting to it. They over there just waiting for an opportunity. And it's unfortunate that we knew that was going to be a thing. Remember them little kids in front of us started wilding out, and they were just like, oh, it's just an extra point. And then you look at it now, it's like y'all were chasing that the whole entire second half.
It was the play calling was bad. I mean, this too, King Chris TV. Heinicke all he had to do was cut in, but his mind, man, you know, he loved that damn pylon. And
he's small, he's a smaller quarterback. Got killed. But if he'd have cut back in, Kayvon Thibodeau would have killed that man.
No way. If he would have cut back in,
the play he made.
Yes, I saw the play he made.
Yo, Taylor Heinicke was like this. Wall. He got no yards from when Kayvon got to that 1 yard line.
He shouldn't have been going that. It took a bad angle for the touchdown anyways.
Ooh,
he had the receiver to cut back in. It was that's
a tough one.
Heinicke
because the pursuit is coming from, you know, it's coming inside out as far as the pursuit. So you're going to be running towards Kayvon if you don't go to the pylon.
The whole thing, he had made some really good reads, but he had made some horrible reads on the options during that game. When I went back and watched
read option?
Yeah, read options. He missed a lot of read options on that. Obviously, he missed Logan Thomas again on the high passes. And the game plan was just horrible to begin with. The Thibodeau was an absolute menace. That first quarter was ridiculous, and they didn't do anything to change the blocking schemes. They had Logan Thomas trying to block Thibodeau, made absolutely no sense. I mean, the first possession, they punt from the Giants' 34-yard line. That was weird. I don't understand that. Kick the damn field goal. You know what I'm saying?
50-yarder. How's your kicker been this year from 50?
He's been probably about 80%, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, the first possession of the game, it's not like he's already missed a field goal at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just play in the field position at that point, because if you miss the field goal, we get it from where the ball was set. Yeah, so you're looking at Giants starting around midfield.
And then where did he kick the ball? Ended up kicking the ball, and it was. And then you guys took it back. Remember, that was like ended up being like a
punt. But Richie James would have heads up play. He caught it on his 6-yard line, and the net punt on that was 4 yards.
It was like 7 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards.
4 yards, yeah. He took it back to like the 34-yard line or something like that.
Kick the damn field goal. You know what I'm saying? It just, to me, at that point in the game, it's the first possession. It's really bad. And then I have to blame coaches, Ben Bayou. The coaches. I'm not saying the.
I don't know how I feel about the what you call it, bro. The punting it in that situation at the 34, because the Giants did that on one of our drives as well too. The wins, you felt them. It wasn't calm in the first quarter at all.
Yeah, but
it
the
calmed
first
down.
possession.
The second half is when the wind started to calm down and the flagpoles, you started to see them not waving as much. But the first half, it was windy out there.
I mean, I guess, but listen, it's that time of year, man. You got to try and put points on the board, especially when when your offense is not scoring. Our offense does not score. I mean, I guess I understand it to a certain extent because, yes, our defense has been playing very well. You want to rely on your defense. But that one is just, if it would have been like 5 more yards, 4 more yards, yeah, but I don't know. 51 yards, first possession of the game, I would think it would be important to get some points on the board. You know what I'm saying?
I think they were looking at the opponent, and this is where I think New York really shocked y'all, because y'all were game planning for a New York Giants team that doesn't exist no more when y'all come out of that bye. The team that y'all prepared for, that you saw at MetLife, that game plan was completely thrown out. That's not the game plan that the New York Giants ran in this game. They did a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. They spread the ball out. They used a short passing attack. Daniel Jones didn't even throw the ball over 15 yards the whole entire night.
It was amazing. It was amazing because that's what 0 sacks because of the quick passing. You know what I'm saying? Like we got out coached. And when you say, Ben says coaches can't control the option that Heineke picks, 100%, right? But you control the play calling. You control the fact that you only ran the ball.
Like about his read option, he was keeping it when he was supposed to give it, or vice versa.
And vice versa, both. He did it on both ends.
Because he had three attempts. Heineke did for 33 yards on the ground.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is he made some good plays out of some good reasons, but he missed a couple of really big ones and opportunities. And he also missed the passes. He had the fumbles. I was surprised that they didn't go to Carson Wentz. At halftime, I didn't leave my seat, and I watched Carson Wentz warm up, and he was making it wasn't like no toss. Like, he was practicing all the throws to the sidelines, the low throws, under pressure throws, like like ready to rock. So I was surprised that they didn't go to
didn't
Carson
surprise
Wentz.
me that much, because our front, we were getting pressure with the front 4. And that doesn't yield well for Carson Wentz. That's his biggest problem. He don't know how to handle the pressure, and he needs time. That's why I think those kind of quarterbacks, they're slowly but surely exiting the league. If you can't buy time, bro, you cannot be a quarterback in the NFL. These offensive lines are not going to hold up like a wall for you. This is not
unless
1995.
you're Green Bay. Green Bay
they run a quick passing attack.
No, but I mean, if you watched that game last night, there were times when Aaron Rodgers had 20 seconds back there to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady pockets.
I did watch the game last night, but I don't remember seeing that. But as far as the concepts that Green Bay runs, they run a lot of quick dagger type concepts and a lot of quick out routes from the slot. So a lot of the time, you don't see Aaron Rodgers drop back, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, like Carson Wentz.
Dude, that's the problem of the offensive coordinator, calling plays that he knows the offensive line isn't equipped to handle.
Well, that's why they got Taylor Heineke in the game too, though, because Taylor Heineke finds a way to at least buy you an extra second of time, where Carson Wentz be standing back there like a statue, bro.
Listen, I'm not saying that Carson Wentz doesn't have faults. You know that. But at this point in the game, we are not scoring points. At this point in the season, we are not scoring points. I don't care about all the magic and all that stuff anymore.
You do it coming out the bye. You don't do it mid-game. You game plan for this shit for 2 weeks like this.
And that's the worst part about it. And this is why Ben says I can't blame the coaches. I mean, damn, bro. They had 2 weeks. You just played this opponent. And you see how different the Giants came out and played? Their game plan was awesome. They completely outcoached us. It was an abomination. It wasn't that great,
though, when you think about it. It's like, really, I saw somebody say this in the chat, like, Kayvon Thibodeau, man. Where do you think the Giants really outcoached y'all? We had one good drive on the whole entire night, and then we had the closeout drive from Saquon Barkley with the 3 runs.
The ability to call that the quick passing game changed. It took away the strength of the Washington Commanders, and that's
getting first downs, though. That's the thing.
You didn't need to get first downs because you were getting so many yards on first and second down.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense, because they didn't throw a reception that went over 15 yards.
Okay, the drive, the 97-yard drive, how many third downs did you guys convert on that 97-yard drive?
3, maybe?
2. Two
there was
third
only two in
downs.
the whole game.
No, it was only one third down that you converted and one fourth down on a 97-yard drive.
That's half your third down conversions in the game right there.
Yeah.
You're saying what I'm saying, but you're saying no, right? I literally just said, right, they had literally one good drive and the 3 runs from Saquon Barkley. That's the offensive productivity throughout the whole entire night. The little slant route to Isaiah Hodgins, that's really it. This short pass attack, I think it kept your defenders away from Daniel Jones, but it wasn't like it was gaining chunk yards the whole entire night.
I mean, it did what you needed to do to win. We had 0 sacks. We had 0 turnovers forced. You know what I'm saying? Our strength of our team.
Play with that. You know,
our strength of our team is our defense, and you took our defense out of the game by that game plan. And I mean, that 97-yard drive was crazy. We gave up the one was a 3rd and 9 was a 10-yard pass to Richie James.
Yep.
Then the 4th and 9 you convert was an 11-yard pass to Richie James. And everything else was first and second down.
Guys, this is why I'm kind of agreeing with what Ben is saying here. Like, what can the coaches do about that? The defense held the New York Giants offense to like 13 points, bro.
Well, I'm not just saying that. I'm not saying the defensive coach. I'm not saying the defensive coaching.
Well, I'm talking about in response to you talking about this short passing attack, nullifying your biggest strength being your defense. To me, you have to find ways to sustain drives as your offense. Forget what the defense is doing out there because the Giants don't turn the ball over. That ain't our swag. We don't ever turn the ball over.
But what is Washington and during this time when they've been winning is because of what we've been able to do on defense, not what we've been able to do on offense.
I guess so. I mean, it's been a little bit of both. It's been some clutch Taylor Heineke. Without the 4th and 4 against the New York Giants at the game at MetLife, you don't win the game without Taylor Heineke in the offense.
Yeah, but
he
like
really put the team on his back on that last drive.
One play, man. Like,
no, it was a whole drive. Wasn't it like a 92-yard drive?
But what I'm saying is that, like, he can do those things, and everybody else forgets about all the bad stuff that he does the rest of the game.
If you win. But
we didn't win.
That's the side of the coin that we're on right now because, some people woke up Monday morning, and I even saw him on Twitter. Daniel Jones single-handedly won this game.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Let's just keep it real. Like, the Giants' offense played terrible.
It was a team win. It was a team win.
It was Kayvon, man. He stopped him at the goal line, and he made the strip sack, scooped it with one hand and scored a touchdown.
Listen, that's all Taylor Heineke's
scored 7
fault.
for us, and he stopped 7 for us.
Yeah, that's all Taylor Heineke's fault.
Hey, man, you talking about a real big dog in Kayvon Thibodeau, man. You little Taylor Heineke, bro, running at Kayvon Thibodeau, coming at him in pursuit, looking like Becky O'Shea coming off that
He's
edge.
the gamer, right? He's the guy with the magic. He's the one that dives into the pylon, right? That's what everybody says.
He set y'all up. What happened after that? Right.
They got the damn penalty on. We scored a touchdown on the next play, and we get the damn penalty on McLaurin.
But you ain't got all that smoke for Terry McLaurin, though. But you got all that smoke for Taylor Heineke for not scoring.
I mean, it's on Terry McLaurin. Deserves some blame too, but he was under the impression that he wasn't offsides. He was under the impression that he wasn't offsides.
Yeah, you just got to be better. You got.
I mean, but if you're a wide receiver and the ref tells you you're good, what are you supposed to do?
That's off us believing that actually happened. Now, did you see when I broke it down on Giant Overreaction and I talked about how the second time he doesn't look at the ref?
Yeah, because he's heard the ref tell him he's good if he moved up. And then he can't move again because of the motion.
That's allegedly.
Allegedly.
I mean, I'm going to see him mouth it. We don't hear him say it. Yeah, there's no audio that's been out there.
We have to assume.
You're believing him and just acting like that's what it is.
I'm taking Terry McLaurin's word for it. Yes, I am.
Yeah, but
at the same time, he can't move again or else to get flagged for the illegal motion.
Yeah, so
you yourself said that's on Taylor Heineke, right?
If the motion is a thing, yeah.
I mean, the motion is a thing.
As the quarterback, when you send somebody in motion, your players need to be set, and that's on the quarterback. But Terry McLaurin went to the line and lined up wrong right off the bat.
So let me ask you this. Ben's saying I can't blame the coaches. So you're telling me that I can't blame the coaches for having 2 weeks, basically, to play the opponent that you just won, and you were playing at home, and you come out and you basically sheet the bed, and you score 12 points. I can't blame the coaches for that at all. The coaches have nothing to do with getting the game plan ready, getting the players ready. I mean, it's not all the coaches' fault. Taylor Heineke, the coach, Ron Rivera, and Scott Turner didn't fumble the ball twice. Right. They didn't miss open
10
receivers.
Drives, 6.7 yards per play, outpassed us. It was a recipe to win the game without the turnovers. Kayvon Thibodeau won this game.
I mean, listen, that's fine, but I want to get to the point about the Washingtons. How you're telling me, Ben, that there's no blame to go onto the coaches at all? There's no way that you believe that.
We need to bring
coaches schemed it right. Coaches schemed it right, bro. They ran the ball 26 times. That's not the identity of this offense. I mean, you want to win this game, you got to control the clock. That's how we win. That's how we've been winning. This is the same exact thing that happened last year. We went on that winning streak, and we ran the ball almost 40 times every single win, just like we've been doing right now. And as soon as we lose, what happens is because they decide they want to pass the ball more. They want to pass the ball more than they run the ball. Why would you try and do that? You're going up against a New York Giants rush defense that's horrible, and you want to pass the ball more than run the ball?
The thing is that you got down at the half, so they had to come out the gate, and they did a good job in this.
And they came out the gate and scored.
They scored a touchdown on most passing plays on that, so now you're back into the game.
And then, but now you abandon the run when you're back into the game, and you try to continue to pass the ball. At
that point, I think you could go either way with it, because a lot of people say, go with what's working, right? I'm not one of those people that just say, oh, it's working, keep going with it. I do think you need some balance, but when you look at it outside of the 6-play, 91-yard touchdown drive coming out the second half, they only had 3 other possessions, and Taylor Heineke fumbled on one of them, and the other one was a turnover on downs and a field goal.
Okay, so then what about the coaching decision down 17-9, 3rd and 3 to run Curtis Samuel as opposed to Brian Robinson up the middle?
I think that's a play that if it works, nobody says nothing.
But, okay, that's fine. You can say that about anything. But does that make sense to you?
No,
if you had Brian,
it does make sense to me. That's what I'm saying.
So you're telling me that you wouldn't be mad? You wouldn't be mad?
I'm giving it to you right now. When the Dallas Cowboys are trying to run out the clock and they run 2 plays on 1st and 2nd down and then they throw it on 3rd down, I cannot use this same excuse for that. On 3rd and 3, what do you think the Giants are looking to stop?
But they haven't stopped Brian Robinson all game.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. He's averaging 6.1 yards per carry.
Brian Robinson there were drives in the first half where we stopped y'all, though. Y'all were committed to the run in the first half.
If you had Saquon Barkley, right, and it was 3rd and 3, are you handing the ball to Richie James to run up the middle?
Yeah.
Or are you handing it?
Totally, bro. I can
you would lose it if that happened.
I can give you an example where that happened against the Dallas Cowboys on 3rd and 3 with everything on the damn line for that game. They dropped back and passed it, and then on 4th and 3, they passed it again to Saquon Barkley, and the pass was short on his back hip, and he dropped it. You think I was looking at the play call and going, y'all called the wrong play. The play was right. They didn't execute it.
But to me, if you're going to run the ball, it wasn't like it was like an interesting play. If you're going to run the ball up the middle for 3rd and 3, you're going to do it with Curtis Samuel or you're going to do it with Brian Robinson.
I mean, I think that it's not a bad play call is what I'm saying. Who would I give the ball to in that circumstance? I'd have to be the coach on the sideline and understand exactly what's going on in the game. Maybe there's something they saw there where the Giants were selling out a little bit to the run and they thought they had something to open up. To me, it's not some like egregious, horrible play. It didn't work.
See, to me, I think it's horrible.
You know me. You remember last year when everybody was saying, I don't want to see these damn jet sweeps in the goal line in the red zone, right? What did I say? What was my answer?
I mean, I'm not going to recall.
I was I want to see them because when they work, nobody say nothing.
I understand that, but
right when you throw it short of the sticks, right, and your receiver catches it and he gets the yak to get the first down, nobody goes, "Why are they throwing short of the sticks?"
Yeah, of course.
They only say it when it don't work.
But what I'm saying is that it's still okay. All right, so let's stay like this then. That doesn't work. Okay, so it doesn't work that time, but then you turn around again, and you hand it to Curtis Samuel in the red zone on the New York Giants 10-yard line. Again, up the middle.
Okay.
After you already did it. This is before the fumble. You start that on the New York Giants 10-yard line, and you decide once again to run Curtis Samuel up the middle.
On 1st down.
Why? after it already didn't work.
Here's the thing, man. It's like I'm not a big, supporter of giving Curtis Samuel all these carries. But ask the Giants fans, everybody that was in my space, I had to talk them off of this. They were like, you got to watch out for Curtis Samuel on the runs. So everybody was talking about. So we can't act like Curtis Samuel's just like running a jet sweep to like Darius Slayton. The dude is known to get carries and run the ball.
And I'm all for
Nobody
him.
I'm
all for him getting carries. You've
part.
heard me talk about this. Isn't necessarily about Curtis Samuel. It's about the coaching. It's about not getting away from what works. Brian Robinson was carrying people on his back.
He was all night
long.
All night.
So to me, it's like when you're not converting on third downs, and you finally get a third down that's reasonable yard to go.
Yeah.
You decide to go away from the guy who's carrying
it's a
people.
Questionable call, but all I'm saying is that if it works, ain't nobody saying nothing about it today. I would say it.
I would say it.
I don't think you would.
I don't think you would. I would. I don't think you would.
If it worked out and you scored a touchdown here, you have no reason to look back at the play and go, why'd they call that there? It worked.
I wouldn't know. I would still question it. I'd be like, why are they, I know we scored a touchdown, but why are they running the ball up the middle?
I feel like y'all did this for some first downs against the Giants in the first
Listen,
game.
that's why I said I love when I'm all about Curtis Samuel getting carries, but not on 3rd and 3 up the middle when you have Brian Robinson.
Not on first down in the red zone either.
In the red zone either. No, I don't want that either.
See, I mean, to me, this is my thing about that whole sequence right there. You can't say that it's bad coaching after the fact because it didn't work. You could say, hey, I prefer to go here with it. When I look at the play with Saquon Barkley on the 3rd and 3, and you have 2 downs against the Dallas Cowboys to get 3 yards, I'm going to run it probably on both plays.
And see, I think I agree with you.
At the same time, I'm not looking at the coaches going, why are y'all calling this nonsense? Because it's not like they ran something silly, like when you see let's go back. Let's go back a couple weeks.
Some things that are
let's
silly.
go back a couple of weeks, okay? Red zone. Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback. You got J.D. McKissick on the field for 3 straight plays, and you run passes 3 times. Okay, I'm gonna give you that one. But a run on first down, try to sneaky get your boy Curtis Samuel some yards on 3rd and 3.
It's being picky, but I'm not necessarily what I was doing in that whole thing is I'm not necessarily, because what you said is 100% true. You can't call it a bad call in hindsight because it didn't work.
Right.
If it worked, you would have called it a good call. That's 100%. What I'm doing with those examples, though, is showing you how the coaches got away from the game plan that would have won the game. And they did that because that's where I'm going with this, because these roadmaps I put together, they're not just, they're fun, right? But if you really look and listen at the roadmaps, when they work, you win games. Like it's obviously easy to say from behind a camera on YouTube.
When you look
at
what
I'm saying?
Red zone opportunities and third down conversions.
You know what I'm saying? It's very easy.
They're typical things that will lead you to a victory, man.
But the thing is that it goes to what the identity is. I didn't handpick 3 out of 60 plays, Ben. You ran the ball 26 times. You passed the ball 29 times. You tell me when the Washington Commanders have won a game with that recipe. Not going to happen. You're not going to find it because it doesn't exist. No.
There's not a game that y'all won where Taylor Heineke passed for more than y'all rushed?
Nope.
That's wild.
Not going to find it. Not going to find it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You only win the game by going by what happens. First of all, Taylor Heineke, the magic is done. When they showed the quarterback, you know how when you watch the Sunday Night Football and they give you to each person, they show you their face, they tell you where they went to school and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And on the bottom of it, it'll show you the ranking that they rank amongst all the other position, all the other players at their position. Okay? They bring up Taylor Heineke. 32 of 32 ranked in quarterbacks in the National Football League.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's all fun and games when we're winning, and there's Jordans being bought for people, and they're drinking beers, and I love it. And if he's my quarterback playing, I will cheer for him. But to be perfectly honest with you, the fairy tale looks, I mean, the pumpkin, the shoe, the Cinderella, all that stuff is feeling a little bit right now.
I found a game. I found a game, by the way.
What's the game?
I found a game.
But how many times did they run the ball, though?
28.
What game is this?
Commanders Colts. 17-16 victory. And Taylor Heineke threw it 31 times, and y'all rushed it 28.
That was a lucky game.
Yeah. You know, I'm not too...
That's the only one, though, right?
That was the first one I found. But I'm not too upset with the balance, considering the limited amount of plays and possessions. You know, there wasn't a lot of plays in this one. You know, y'all are coming off games where y'all dominate time of possession and you run 70, 80 plays, you know?
How did they do that? By
dominating time of possession and running the ball. Controlling the clock, running the ball. But it wasn't working for y'all in this game. Y'all were down.
How was it not working? We were running. We were averaging 6.1 yards per carry.
I'm gonna tell you how it wasn't working. Limited possessions. That's why it wasn't working.
I mean, if you go and look at the possessions when you run the ball 40 times, the possessions are good. Your possessions in a game are always going to be around the same amount, generally.
Depends.
Unless there's a lot of turnovers.
If you look at your plays against teams like Philadelphia in the games where y'all dominate time of possession, y'all are almost like 2-1 sometimes with your plays in comparison to the other team.
Plays, but not drives.
Yeah. In this game, it was 10 apiece, I think. And you can't sustain them. You got to sustain them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like the balance was the run game.
Think they
is
got
how
away
you
from the run in the first half?
No, I don't think they necessarily got away from the run.
Why do you think they weren't scoring? Why do you think they weren't scoring?
They weren't scoring because they couldn't convert on third downs because they were getting themselves in trouble by penalties, incomplete passes on second down. That's why. Turnover on one of the things. The punt from the 34-yard line is another possession. You know, that's why they're not scoring points. You know what I'm saying? But to me, you know how I am. I think that you have a game plan unless there's an obvious way to get out of it because you find something else that is working and you're scoring points, then yeah, I'm all for it, right? But if you're not scoring points and you're getting away from what has been working for you as a team during the win streak, controlling the clock, running the ball, not making Taylor Heineke have to make plays, because when you rely on Taylor Heineke to have to make plays, yes, he makes a magical play every once in a while, but more times than others, what does he do? He turns the ball over. We've seen it time and time again. We've already been over the stat where he leads the league in most turnover-worthy plays.
Right. But he's not one of the guys that's leading the league in turnovers, obviously because he hasn't played all season, but also because he's not turning the ball over a shit ton in these games.
He's gotten a little lucky. You know what I'm saying?
He's gotten a bit lucky. Yeah, which it does take some of that. But I also think Taylor Heineke made the play to keep y'all in this game. You know, the pass to Jahan Dotson, a play that my quarterback won't pull that trigger. He pulled the trigger and made a great play to put y'all in possession or put y'all in position to be able to score, but then you get that freakish kind of a fumble.
But is that not? I mean, listen. He decided to chuck it up. That's something he does. You know, he'll close his eyes and he'll be like, "Hey, screw it, somebody's down there somewhere."
That's a read.
But that's all Jahan Dotson that makes that catch.
Yeah, but to put the ball in position on a one-on-one matchup, I'm talking from.
But he didn't put it in position.
Hear me out, man. I'm talking about from a perspective where my quarterback sees that one-on-one and doesn't throw it ever.
Yeah, well.
If Taylor Heineke doesn't throw that ball, Jahan Dotson doesn't have a chance to make the catch.
You are not wrong there.
That's all I'm saying. And he is willingly taking those chances.
Yeah.
And we know you're not going to get to the biscuit if you don't risk it. We know that. That's why the Giants have a stat box that's full of throws under 15 yards, and Taylor Heineke had a stat box full of throws all over the damn place.
But that's also why you guys have 0 turnovers and we have 2 turnovers.
Yeah. Totally. But y'all don't have Kayvon Thibodeau on that defense. Sorry. What I tell you about Taylor Heineke in the matchup against the New York Giants? Speed rush. What did I tell you?
I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau Montez Sweat is one of the best defensive ends in the NFL.
I'll give you that. But the matchup, I told you all about this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, our offensive line was not prepared. Our offensive line was not prepared for Kayvon Thibodeau. And you know whose fault that was? Coaching. Because the fact that you left Logan Thomas out there to try and handle the speed rush.
Is that the one where Kayvon had the scoop and score? It was.
I mean, no, he was on Logan Thomas was on him a lot in that game.
You know what he was saying after the game? He was saying he wouldn't even call the guy by his name. He was calling him 72. And he was like,
that's Charles Leno.
He said 72 got me last game, and I made it a point to come back, and I was going to get mine back this game.
Yeah, and it was in the first quarter. See, at that point, if I'm a coach and I see that abuse is going on to my left tackle, that's telling me right now at the break, my left tackle cannot handle the rush off the edge. I need to make a change. I need to put a running back on the left side of the quarterback. I need to put a tight end on that left side. You know what I'm saying? Some motion,
which
run
I'd have
opposite
to go back
of that.
And look to see if y'all made the adjustment because Kayvon had 1 or 2 sacks on the day. Let me double check. I know I
double
got
check. And while you do that, I'm gonna get to this $5 super chat.
The only one.
For Michael R on the $5 super chat says, Beard, do you think a 2019 DJ National Treasure rookie card 1/1 patch PSA 10 card a good investment if you get it for $400? Do I think it's a good investment? I don't know. That's tough because it's too early to tell. I mean, at $400, that's a pretty penny. It is a 1/1. It's a patch. It's an auto. It's a PSA 10. The problem is what happens if Daniel Jones doesn't get another starting job after this? Then that card is worth way less than $400. So it's hard to pull the trigger on a card like that on a player like Daniel Jones who's in a contract year, has no guarantee of a contract next year. So that would be where I'm at with the Daniel Jones card. Sorry.
I like it. I like it. Big salute to Michael R one time in the building.
Appreciate you.
You know, so going back to the adjustment, now I want to see if Bobby and them put up a video with all of Kayvon Thibodeau's snaps. Because he had a lot of tackles in this game. He led the Giants.
He had 12 tackles, right?
He had 12 tackles, but that was his only sack of the night. That was his only sack of the night. And when you get Azeez Ojulari back in this lineup, I don't know how many pressures he had. The combination of Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau, and I saw a shout out to AJ. AJ tweeted this one out right before we went on air. Kayvon and Azeez have only played in 4 full games together this season. Their stats combined in those games, 33 tackles, 5 tip passes, 7.5 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, 5 forced fumbles, and 5 tackles for a loss, and the 1 touchdown from Kayvon Thibodeau in this game. So, I mean, being that he didn't get to the quarterback again, it shows me that at least y'all made a conscious effort to try to do something, but I want to go look at every snap and see if they did. Is it just that your left tackle stepped up and got better in this game? I don't remember seeing him go up against Logan Thomas that much. I remember it against the left tackle more than I remember it against Logan Thomas. But maybe later on in the game, that might be one of the adjustments that y'all made. To me, the difference in this game, it's not the quarterbacks, it ain't the running game, it ain't the coaches, it ain't none of that. It's that play by Kayvon Thibodeau. That kind of a heads-up play. And I compared it to the Micah Parsons fumble recovery where Micah Parsons had the awareness to find that ball and get up and go. It was right in our end zone. And I don't know if you remember, I was having a conversation with somebody about Daniel Jones' contract that was sitting in front of us right before it went down. They said he got there in 2.5 seconds. He was already stripping the ball. I do think that it's a bit of a coaching mistake here on 2nd and 18. This is what I thought you was going to try to get to. On 2nd and 18, deep in your own territory like that, to try to have your quarterback drop back and pass with no protection to help him on the left side, that's a coaching mistake.
Stupid. And it happened so early in the game where, I mean, it was absolutely a huge play, especially when it comes down to it and it's a 1-score game in the end. But, I mean, that early in the game, there's still 3/4 of football to be left. Like, so much should happen after that point to where you make it a game. You know what I'm saying? It's just, listen, the Giants were better coached in this game, okay? That's a fact. We turned the ball over. We got away from our game plan.
What's the part about the Giants coaching that impresses you? Just curious about that.
I mean, I thought that their offensive game plan was good because it took our strength of our defense away, being able to get to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They blocked very well. The play with Saquon that you took a video of, You know what I'm saying? Like they ran up that was up the middle on where our strength of our defense is. They blocked very well. I thought they schemed excellent to our defense. You know what I'm saying? They limited our strength of being able to get to the quarterback, stopping the run. You guys ran for, what was it, 147 yards, something like that?
Yeah, and this is why I wanted to ask you about this whole coaching thing, because there were so many things in this game that coaching-wise, I didn't think the New York Giants did that great. The one thing that stood out to me was the challenge call from Brian Dable on the fumble. Huge challenge, huge play, reverses the whole momentum of the game.
And that all happens because, like I said, there's no other choice for them to rush another play to get out of that being possibly reviewed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it
but
was
I think
perfect.
seeing it on the field, he got that challenge flag out quick.
They didn't get the challenge flag out until we were getting ready to kick the field goal.
Right, but I'm saying, like, he got it out before y'all were ready to call the next play. It wasn't like this whole big lull in the game.
He got it. He got the flag came out when we were getting ready to kick the field goal.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it wasn't like this whole rush. They saw it early. The Giants saw it early.
So then why didn't they throw the challenge flag before?
They threw it fairly fast from what I remember. And as soon as I saw
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like,
They didn't throw it fast because
I thought I saw it fast, bro. Like,
we
when
ran
I saw
the play.
it confirmed to me that we were going to get it.
No, they
because
ran the play.
We saw the ball squirt out at the end of the play.
Yeah, you saw that, but then it was all done. You know, Heineke walks off the field, diddle daddles. We bring the field goal unit on. We're getting ready to snap the ball. The kicker's lined up. Then the challenge flag comes out.
Yeah, and I saw him throw that, but to me, that's not like what are you saying? Like if it was second down, y'all hurry up, get is that what you're saying?
Like what most people do when there's a questionable call, they rush to run the next play so that the coach doesn't have an opportunity to challenge it.
The only thing I'm saying is you can't change the down. It's third down.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. It was unfortunate that it happened on third down because there's nothing that we could do but to go out there and try and kick the field goal and hope that you guys didn't catch it.
They got that in pretty quickly. You saw the referee go right to the sideline right after the play. On a fumble like that, you know what they're doing upstairs. I'm sure on TV you probably get a better perspective of this when you're watching this from home. But to me, it looked like it was all pretty quick. Like it all just happened pretty fast. And before I could even think about what was happening, the red flag was on the field, and I was like, oh, we're going to get this. There's no way Brian Dable's about to challenge a play that don't look like we got it. You know, and those replays come in fairly fast.
It was crazy. It was a very unfortunate situation.
Going back to the coaching of the game, You relied on the passing attack for the Giants, and then you talked about the rushing attack. Saquon Barkley, all the yards were in the second half. Half of them were on that one drive.
So am I wrong that the Giants didn't coach the game better than the Washington coached the game?
Like if the coaching was so good, why didn't it really do anything in the first half? Because their touchdown, the one that they got with the Saquon Barkley in the first half.
That's why the game is 4 quarters long, man.
Of course, but we dominated y'all in the first half. We won the game pretty much in the first half. It's 14-3, and y'all had been running. Brian Robinson was running the ball all over us, and y'all still couldn't score touchdowns.
Because our coaching sucked. We couldn't come up with plays in the red zone.
I'm not disagreeing with your coaching. Remove the emotion from it. What I'm trying to tell you is, like, what did you see from the Giants coaching staff that was so good? Short passing attack that's not getting first downs. They had 2 total third down conversions.
I mean, listen, you won the game, bro. You took out what we did best. I don't know how else to describe it for you. You took out what we did best. That's coaching, okay?
And what is that in your eyes? The defense. The way we nullified the defense.
Exactly. You took out our strength. Okay?
13 points, man.
Hey, man, listen, it's more. You won the game, bro.
Hey, you remember I told you y'all not a good team. You remember that? You remember what I said? You was like, what you mean, man? I was like, bro, y'all not a good team. Y'all just allowed the Giants offense to put 13 points up, and y'all lost the game by 8.
We suck, man. Coaching sucks, bro. Quarterback sucks, bro. Big shout out to Easy Does It for the $20 super chat. Says your channel is so underrated. I've been watching y'all since the Giant versus Ravens week. I don't always agree with your takes, but you guys always keep it real, never change. Go Giants, and I can't feel bad for the beard this week.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm
I don't
dragging
want
them
your
back through that
sympathy,
game. Like,
guys.
what
Okay.
did you see right there, dog? Like, what is this great coaching we talking about here?
Listen, man. Listen. Maybe it's okay. Would you rather me just say, you guys didn't coach a great game, but we coached a horrible game? Does that make more sense?
I really don't want you to put it on coaching. I want you to put it on
I'm
execution.
not putting it all on coaching, bro. Like everything.
I didn't say all.
Oh, okay, but I can. So can I not? So what am I? What am I doing? What am I doing that you don't agree
I want
with?
you to assess it. I want to know the whys and why you thought the Giants, their coaching was so much better. To me, the one coaching thing was the challenge. Really,
see,
is.
for me, the big difference is when I look at two teams that are so similar, right? And they're one team, these two teams tie. One team has to play a game. The other team doesn't have to play a game. And then they play each other again after that. And the one team that comes out on top and the other team comes out on bottom, the team that came out on top obviously has really good coaching, especially considering the fact that they played a game in between the 2 weeks and the other team had another whole other week to prep and they completely dropped the ball.
Yeah, and I think that definitely worked to our advantage. That the coaching game plan from Dable and Mike Kafka to pass the ball definitely threw y'all off. But I would have preferred them to just commit to the run in the first half.
Yeah,
Saquon had like 12 yards in the first half. And no one else was getting no carries, right? So it's like, where was the offense coming from? There was no offense. Kayvon Thibodeau, big dog vibes. That's what it was. That play is the game.
The play was big, but it's not the game. You can't have the game can't be a play in the first quarter.
If you remove that, y'all are kicking a field goal at the end of the game to win it, which is so crazy.
Big shout out to Kevin at PRF for the $5 super chat. Says at Awthentik, we are not a good team, but neither are the Giants. But you're 1.5 games better than us because of the coaching.
I'll give you that throughout the season. Yeah, we won some big games. Early out the gates, we beat the Tennessee Titans, the Baltimore Ravens, the Green Bay Packers, the Jacksonville Jaguars. We was winning some games definitely off the coaching. But this one?
So what do you?
Daniel Jones had 160 yards, man.
Listen, man. Sometimes it ain't going to be pretty.
And
it's got to be.
I asked you about like which side of the ball. Where are you leaning towards? Like because we nullified hold on. Because we nullified your best unit by Daniel Jones throwing for 160 yards and Saquon Barkley getting 70 of his 80 whatever rushing yards in the second half.
Yeah. That's what did it, man.
This game was this for me. I could simplify it. It's not just the Kayvon thing, right? But I could simplify it. It's Kayvon's big play. It's Kayvon's other big play. It's Kayvon's 12 tackles. And it's Kayvon's 3 tackles for a loss. And then it's Saquon Barkley coming alive on that one drive to really drain out the clock there at the end of that game and get the last field goal from, shout out to my man, Graham Gano, because Graham Gano was clutch in this game, 2 50-yarders in this game. But outside of that, this was not a playoff performance by the New York Giants. This is the kind of game where you walk away from it. We got the win. I'm happy and I'm fortunate we got the win. But that's not good football you saw on Sunday night from the New York Giants. That was some good plays from a dog, a big dog. His name is Kayvon Thibodeau. He was the game wrecker. There's always a game breaker in every game. I thought it would be Saquon, but Saquon did just enough. How many times do I talk about all Saquon got to do is get to that 80? Give me an ugly game, get to that 80. It'll be enough in the end. The defense came out here. Simple as that, man. Kayvon Thibodeau, game wrecker. Game, as my brother would say, brewski. He came in there and he wrecked the game. That's what he did. He completely wrecked the game. Taylor Heineke walk in for that touchdown. Ain't nobody talking about none of this. What's my man, Curtis Samuel, 3rd and 3 runs to first down runs.
If Taylor Heineke cuts the ball inside,
he gets
we're not talking about Kayvon Thibodeau today.
Oh, yeah, we are. We be talking about how Kayvon Thibodeau got them to bring out the stretcher for Taylor Heineke on one of the last sequences of the game. I'm telling you, you don't want to cut. You want him to cut back inside against the pursuit.
He didn't follow his blocker.
Man.
He didn't follow his blocker.
I love this, yo.
He didn't follow his blocker.
He was right there with me. Now, the Beard wears glasses, but he was right there with me to see it firsthand. How Kayvon looking like Bobby Boucher out there. You know when they was like, look in the eyes of Bobby Boucher. Deranged, madman.
Here we go. Props to the Giants coaching for putting Kayvon in a position to succeed.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Kevin. I was about to say, there you go, Kayvon the PRF. You might want to change your name this week, dog. Kayvon the PRF might be a vibe for you. I'm telling you, because Kayvon was possessed, man. That man was possessed. He was all over the field. You know, I don't know if I said this out loud on that last play where Taylor Heineke made the run, but when you look at that play, and I could see it live, Kayvon Thibodeau was the last man on that side of the field because y'all had a tight formation and y'all ran the motion towards him, and then we had a DB. I think it was McLeod who was on the outside when the play started. And in my heart, I was getting a little shook because I was like, why, with everything on the line, are we going to have Kayvon Thibodeau going pass coverage? Why? And it ended up working out, man. The pursuit, he was almost in the end zone, bro. He was in the end zone. Look it up. Go look it up. I remember with my eyes, and I got the footage from my camera. I got that play on my camera too, so I was looking at the camera. Look at Kayvon Thibodeau. He's in coverage. I'm like, why would they put Kayvon in coverage? And I think it was actually a mistake on the Giants coaching, because now you allow Taylor Heineke to sneak out of that pocket and be able to have a chance to make a play. But Kayvon, he came up. Man, when I saw him making pursuit coming up, I was like, there's no way he's going to stop Taylor Heineke here. There's no way.
He wasn't even in bounds when he hit him either.
Because he over-pursued a little bit to the outside shoulder. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, if he would have cut in instead of diving at the pylon at Kayvon Thibodeau.
Monday morning quarterback shit.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's clear as day. His receiver is there. If you run, he still probably gets hit by the DB too. But he ran direct.
Let me ask something. Do you think that Taylor Heineke is agile enough to cut back on Kayvon Thibodeau and Kayvon not get a hand on him?
I mean, if you talk to the right person, they'll tell you that Taylor Heineke can walk on water.
I'm talking to the right person right now, man. I'm talking to the right person right now. Do you think, because that's kind of what you're saying there, if he cuts it back, you think Kayvon just doesn't even get a hand on him? He doesn't even get a chance to tackle him?
No, I think he can still get a hand on him. But if you look at it, it's weird when I'm watching the end of this play. Kayvon is literally over pursuing it, and Taylor Heineke is running right at him and just turns his back and tries to back into Kayvon Thibodeau.
It was too late. You looking at it like it's John Madden football. Oh, I'm going to just press the R trigger. He going, whoop. Bro, this thing is moving 100 miles per hour. You got Kayvon Thibodeau coming down full speed at you.
Yeah.
You think Taylor Heineke's going to cut it back?
Dog, I'll tell you what right now. I would have been scared out of my life.
For sure.
I'm watching. But see, this is where he
got that big ass arm brace on coming at you like,
Kayvon Thibodeau is literally in the back of the end zone. The closing speed is insane.
It's crazy.
Listen.
This is what I was just telling you. You telling me to listen. This is what I was just telling you.
Look,
he was in the end zone.
Thibodeau knew. He knew Heineke was going to go to the pylon. So he just ran straight for the pylon. That's where Heineke messed up. You want to talk about running the ball? Curtis Samuel on third down.
Don't run in the
pylon.
NFL, right? To flow everything back to the inside. Of course he's going to the pylon. What do you think he's going to go outside in? Dog, come on.
God. Dog. Dotson was leading him. Dotson is leading him. There he goes. Dotson's like, come on, I'm going to go outside. You come inside.
Show me on the camera. Show me on the camera.
You can't see because it's.
Oh, I can see.
Okay.
I'll make you full screen.
All right. So we're going to.
Oh, yeah. Dotson's leading them. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Dotson's forcing Thibodeau to go take the pylon. Oh, listen, if you trying to tell me that Taylor Heineke can't cut that inside while Jahan Dotson goes outside. Here goes Dotson.
Oh, you see all that flow from the inside? There's two defenders, too. There's two defenders flowing from inside.
Yeah, there is.
You really want your quarterback doing that, bro?
You want him running? Do you want him running into that freight train of a beast, Kayvon Thibodeau, head to head?
He already fumbled twice at that point. What down was that? It's on first down?
Second and goal.
Oh, man, you want him to get killed on second and goal when he's got – It's a walk-in touchdown, man.
Walk-in touchdown
for Brian Robinson on the next play. It's a walk-in touchdown.
Well, we should have never gotten to that point because he could have scored there. If he would have scored there, we would never have Terry McLaurin.
Football.
It's so much fun.
I really love how people look at football with hindsight because you're literally telling your quarterback, go get killed for the touchdown. After he fumbled twice in the game already, you're telling him pretty much take that hit because you think they're not going to hit him?
I mean, So what happened? He took the hit against Thibodeau?
Oh, no. You said it before. What did he do when he saw Thibodeau? He turned his back and he fell to the ground to protect himself. That's what
he didn't fall to the ground. He got hit in the back. He tried to go
upright, though. He didn't get hit upright.
He tried to dive backwards into a running freight train.
He tried to protect himself. He didn't just run head up to Kayvon Thibodeau, did he? He didn't go for the pylon with the ball. Right?
No, because he saw the freight train.
My God. I'm not about to take this Joker Kayvon Thibodeau been chasing me all night. I'm going to cut back into the pursuit and get straight punished? Bruh, come on, man.
Hey,
and then you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen, right? When he fumbles that and he's hurt, you're going to be like,
why did he slide
that? Come on, dog.
Not me.
You try to get your quarterback.
Some people, but not me. Not me. Some people, but not me. Yes.
Bookend said he almost fumbled on that play, too.
I mean, listen, he's a turnover machine. You guys haven't realized that yet?
There's a reason why Taylor Heineke dives for the pylon. Right. You talking about slow down and cut back. Oh, my God.
Dr. Drake says this has been intense.
Yo, dog. This man said cut back against not only Kayvon Thibodeau, but the other two defenders there in pursuit. They gonna take that man. He might even score. But they're gonna take his head off. I love these streams. These joints right here be cruise control because all I'm doing is I'm waiting to react to the beard. He's like, man, he should have cut it back. He tried. Yo, you see that?
You
go to
know
show
me.
how much.
I'm rarely like, I'm most of the time.
How much you don't give a good goddamn about Taylor Heineke. Cut it back and get killed. I want to see Carson Wentz come in the game anyway. That's what you telling that man right there. Get rid of this bum. That's what you saying. Look, if he was a franchise quarterback, you wouldn't be saying do that.
I think I have to agree with that.
Right, you wouldn't be saying that, but you like, man, this guy, he's disposable, man. Go out here, man. Get your head taken off for a touchdown, man. It's your last game anyway, probably.
I mean, you're the legend, right? I mean,
he got y'all here though.
You live by the Heineke, you die by the Heineke. That's all there is to it, man.
I love these.
But congratulations.
These kind of
L's. You had the blast on these, I on the other hand have a headache now. Okay.
Oh, it's great. You see, I got my you know how you be having your hands on the wheelchair handles?
I see.
Yeah.
Like, you over here laughing, Ben sending me the messages. This guy with a beard.
We set him up for a disaster. Put it last on the slate and everything. Yeah. Yeah, he said that last show. I put him on the spot, Stan. I put him on the spot. He was like, yeah, man. You know what? Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it right now because you know Awthentik in the graphics department. They always prepared and ready to go, man. Shout out my guy Stan one time. I think he works for the graphics department.
Well, I said earlier in the show, Awthentik always finds a way to get me to these questions, and all I want to do is answer them with these politically correct answers. This one, on the other hand, is fairly simple.
It's time.
No, it's... Now I feel like, okay, now this is what's going to happen. You throw Carson Wentz to the damn Wolves against... You thought Kayvon Thibodeau was trouble for the left tackle.
Who y'all playing next week?
Nick Bosa.
Oh, Nick Bosa a beast.
Leads the NFL in sacks.
I'll bet you this, though. He ain't going to have no game like that. He ain't going to have no Kayvon Thibodeau game. 12 tackles, 1 strip sack, 7 points. Scooped it with one hand like,
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But, I mean, now this is like, it sucks because I would say, yes, it's time to go back to Carson Wentz.
I know the beard all too well. and I be putting him on the spot. I don't even show him these questions before he goes live. I just put him on the spot, Appreciate you, Stan, for reminding me about that too, man. That's major.
Yeah, it's definitely time. It's time to go back. What Ron Rivera said, as long as we win it, well, look, Ron, we lost. Gigs up. Let's go. Because this is the thing. It's like Taylor Heineke, he's not the type of dude that care, right? So if you put in Carson Wentz and Carson Wentz starts getting sacked, you could throw Taylor Heineke back in the game and he's not going to care. He's going to be like, all right, guys, let's go. So to me, for sure. To me, it's like it's an ideal situation. You know what I'm saying? And I know, Kevin, this is why it was a setup, because I want to say yes, but I know not against San Francisco front. But listen, this is week 16, man. You can't be scared. No matter who every game is a playoff game from here on out. You know what I'm saying? You can't be scared. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Do it. You gotta go.
Have you heard them talking about that at all?
What?
About making a quarterback switch? So
they asked Ron Rivera, and he said that he basically said they're going to stick with Heineke for now, but the door is open for Wentz to come back.
You could tell Wentz wanted to play. Every chance he got, he was out there throwing it to some towel boy, some ball boy. He's on the sidelines in between timeouts, throwing the ball.
I was at halftime sitting in my chair. I'm like, man, where the fuck's Awthentik, man? I got to show him this, man. He's fucking Wentz. I'm sorry. I'm like, Wentz is on the sideline throwing like darts. Like he was like, when I tell you, he was warming up like he was about to go in. And I totally forgot about it, because when Awthentik came back to the stands, he had hot chocolate. And it was like the greatest gift of all life. I forgot about everything at that point. I was just like, because I was so cold. so cold. So, yeah, I mean, let's go back to Wentz. What's the worst that can happen? You score 12 points?
The joint, ruin your opportunity.
I mean,
to me, this is a matchup thing, too. The Giants got y'all number. And when you talked about the coaching, I thought you was going to lean more towards Wink Martindale, man. Wink Martindale dialed up the game plan to really, really put your offense on ice, bro, like the whole game. Guys like Jason Pinnock stepped up. I talked about Tony Jefferson on the Giant overreaction. These guys had big plays, 4th and 6, right before the half, the 3rd and 5 before the half, where Gano ends up making a field goal to push that lead. Pinnock had the 3rd and 9. Wink dialed up the blitz, and it caught Taylor Heineke off blindside.
He also got the pass caught on him, too.
He did, but he was right in position. I'm never mad at those kind of plays. When I look at the Jahan Dotson play,
it in.
One-on-one, the wide receiver should win.
Yeah, because you have the advantage over the defender all the time, especially in today's age of football.
Man, look, the way that the wide receivers dictate, I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but the way that wide receivers dictate, I couldn't tell. That's why I'm saying that. The way that wide receivers dictate the routes, the defenders are always at the disadvantage. So when I see my guy get beat and he's in position, though, I'm not as mad. People were being upset about the dropped interception from McLeod in the back of the end zone. He's on defense for a reason, man.
Yeah, he made a play. That's a play, you know what I'm saying?
And Pinnock, he had one bad play pretty much the whole entire day. What I like to see from him is that when they first thrusted him into the lineup, he lacked the physicality, because you could tell he wasn't out on the field playing with that NFL game speed. He would go in to come in and try to stop the run and kind of tiptoe and pull a Dory Jackson type vibe where he just ducked the helmet. He was physical in this game, stepping up, making big tackles. These dudes is no-namers, man. They no-namers out here. And that defense, all day long, they did their thing all day long. When they needed the big turnovers, they got them. And Kayvon Thibodeau set the pace. This was a defensive game, if anything. And I know the cold, everybody want to act like it don't matter, but I played football in the cold. It affects you. And the number one thing it affects is the pass attack. Right off the bat. When your hands is blocks, brick iced up, you trying to get your hands warm to make a throw, it's not the same, dog.
It's not.
And for Taylor Heineke to drive y'all down, I really thought y'all had the opportunity right there after Jahan Dotson made the catch. I was like, oh, not again. It reminded me of the wheel route from last year when y'all caught that wheel route from J.D. McKissick, and it put y'all in position to get the field goal. I'm just like, man, we about to see this again. I'm about to watch the Giants collapse again. I couldn't believe it.
The Giants, when I said coaching, I just, every time we got around to it, I could only finish with the offensive part of it before you started ridiculing me. So I didn't get a chance to give my kudos to the defensive coaching, but obviously, that had a huge part because, they was giving me the business.
You sure? You sure it was offense?
It was all coaching, man. Because listen, Kayvon Thibodeau made the difference, the changes from that first game to the second game, and you saw that clearly on the sack fumble, because in the first game he just sacks him. In this game he sacks him and forces the fumble, picks it up, and scores a damn touchdown all in one play. You could go back to
a couple weeks before that too, week 6 against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Sack.
So it's
Kayvon Thibodeau. He is a dog.
You're talking to me. I had to defend him against half of the damn New York Giants fan base because they were calling him a bust 4 weeks into the season.
People, I don't even know. We can't be responding to those people.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying. So you don't have to explain to me. I know how good Kayvon Thibodeau is.
He missed the
because
first 4
people
games.
are crazy, man. You know
how you
that,
miss the first 4 games, come back, play 4 games, and by the bye week, they're like, you a bust, dog.
And, listen. I knew we shouldn't have drafted him in the first round. What were we thinking? There was a reason he fell to us, is what they were saying.
Now they're looking at it like, the homie is balling out.
Trust me, I watched Kayvon Thibodeau play football in college a lot. He was a beast. So I know Kayvon
people are upset
that
that didn't translate right away.
And you could go back and there's a couple of times, instances on this here show where Awthentik and I were talking about Kayvon Thibodeau and how he was. Because what happened was you saw a little bit of progression. When he first came back, that play against the Ravens obviously was a big play. But when he first came back, you could tell he wasn't 100% at his speed yet. You know what I'm saying? And,
it was hard for me to gauge it because I hadn't seen him in the NFL speed.
Exactly,
and,
exactly.
You see him in college, and to me, it didn't look like he was much slower. The thing that I was criticizing a lot for Kayvon Thibodeau leading up to this game and all the weeks before this was he didn't have a bull rush. Everything he was trying to do was beat you around the edge. And the strip sack, he showed you right there, I'm a dog. Woo. Early. Second quarter, I believe that was. At the beginning of the second quarter where he gets there. I love to see it because this is what we were questioning about him. Does he have the power? People were even saying Kayvon need to hit the weight room in the offseason. And when you see a game like that, it's proof. It's proof right there that he's learning on the job. They thrusted him into a starting position as a rookie.
And that's coaching, too.
You know, a lot of it is coaching, for sure. And experience, but that's why I look back at that Ravens game because, he didn't close out against Taylor Heineke in the game where we tied y'all in MetLife, but in week 6, he closed out. Strip sack, closed out on Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson's a lot, I don't know if you remember Rocky, when Rocky was chasing the chicken, how hard it was for Rocky to catch the chicken. That's the task for when you're trying to chase Lamar Jackson.
I'll tell you what, too. I bet you, I know Wink was licking his fingers every time he realized Scott Turner was trying to get cute and pass the ball.
Yeah, and I think that switch up, there was 2 switch ups in this game. The more effective one came from the defense. Wink Martindale, what he been on the whole entire season? Blitz. Third and long, blitz. We come out here and we dominate y'all with our front 4.
And we talked about how the Giants' defensive line is a lot better than I think people gave them credit for. They just hadn't necessarily all been healthy at the same time.
Couldn't stop the run.
For very often. They couldn't stop the run. And they didn't necessarily weren't good at stopping the run in this game, which is why it was so weird to me that they stopped running the ball. It's not like we were averaging 2-3 yards a carry. Like it didn't make any sense to me. I mean, literally, Brian Robinson had 12 carries for 89 yards.
Yeah, and he ended with only 4 carries in the second half.
His longest was like 14, 20 maybe?
19 yards.
19 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he got all that on one chunk. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing that blew my mind, too, is how many times did Antonio Gibson touch the ball in this game? 7.
Yeah, five carries, 21 yards. But, I've been seeing people being a little bit split on the whole Antonio Gibson thing with Brian Robinson, that they just want to see Brian Robinson take over the backfield as number 1 back.
I mean, I'm assuming that you don't agree necessarily with that. He is the number 1 back. I'm not expecting Antonio Gibson to be number 1 back, but don't you think that the 2 running backs and they what's the word I'm looking for? I'm lost right now.
I say it like this: Brian Robinson
is
the more effective runner at this point. You couldn't rely on Antonio Gibson in this game from a rushing standpoint. I feel like even though he did have some pretty good runs on the day, he had a long of 10 on the day.
And he had the 11-yard one that got called back for a holding.
Yeah, so that one didn't count.
And I know, but you know what I'm the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
but in the passing game though either.
Losing. It's when you're losing in the game, what do? Do you keep the carries kind of split? I think you had a better chance probably relying on Brian Robinson getting more carries. But to me, it just seemed like short-lived opportunities. Just short-lived
Why didn't they keep running the ball? Like, I don't understand it. Like, yes, okay. So we ran the ball more effectively in the first half when we were down more points than we were in the entire second half. But we stopped running the ball in the second half
because
when we were down less points.
Maybe. I mean, that's the only explanation for it is that you came out throwing the ball and you had a 91-yard drive that scored you a touchdown.
Yeah,
and
but then why wouldn't you?
First half, and you didn't have points to show for it.
See, to me, that's. I mean, it makes what you're saying makes sense, I guess, but it's weird to me. Like, knowing that we've won the game all of these weeks where we've been winning, we've won because we've controlled the clock, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
It's not a coincidence that we were the number one team in the National Football League in time of possession. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't control the clock by not running the ball. You know what I'm saying?
The drives weren't sustaining. You know, if you look at the first half drives, you have a 6-play drive for 28 yards that took up 2 minutes, 50 seconds. You have a 5-play, 15-yard drive that was a minute 27. Then you have the first drive of the game, which was y'all best drive of the first half, was 10 plays for 41 yards, 6:27 off the clock. And the field goal drive was 9 plays for 47 yards, 4:52 off the clock. So you're running the ball fairly effective. Even if you took all these plays in the second half, the Commanders had what? 9, 15, 20, 27 plays in the second half total. To me, you guys just didn't have enough opportunities, and a lot of that has to do with them the second half turnover, obviously.
And the third downs conversions.
Not converting on third down. Yeah. So you'd have to look at every drive. I mean, you guys go 3 and out. After you scored the touchdown, the Giants kick a field goal on a 10-play, 43-yard drive. Y'all go 3 and out after that in a minute 45.
And all 3 of those plays, I'm assuming, were pass plays. Maybe
no, it was Brian Robinson for a 7-yard gain, and then Taylor Heineke incomplete deep to Diami Brown, and then the Curtis Samuel. That's the drive where you went Curtis Samuel on 3rd and 3. You know, so you went two out of the 3 plays on a 3 and out were runs after you scored a touchdown. So I'm in a way, I'm playing devil's advocate for you here a little bit. You ran the ball in the first half and didn't have anything to show for it but 3 points on the scoreboard outside the drive you left hanging out there when you punted it from the 34-yard line, right? You only have 3 points. Then you come out in the second half. It's all about second half adjustments, right? We always talk about that. They make the adjustment. They go to the aerial attack on that drive. They score a touchdown, 91 yards, 6 plays. They come out right out the gate with a pass to Terry McLaurin. They had 2 passes to Terry McLaurin right off the bat. Then Diami Brown got 1. Brian Robinson off left tackle. Short pass to Terry McLaurin. Another short pass to Jahan Dotson. And then a Jahan Dotson, another pass to him. Then you get your touchdown was Jahan Dotson, I believe. Extra point was no good. So your formula for your second half adjustments were the passing game works, right? So now you get the game a little bit closer. It's 14-9. The Giants go 10 plays. They kick a field goal. It's 17-9. So that really it gets you right back to the position that you were kind of in the first half. Because now you're down by 8, which is going to be a 1-score game, but you're going to need a 2-point conversion, but you're not even thinking about that at that point. You're thinking, let me sustain 2 drives and get this lead, right? And then when you come back and you try to go with the run, you go 2 runs out of 3 plays and you go 3 and out. And then on the field goal drive, you went Brian Robinson, Taylor Heineke for 15-yard runs. So you go 3 runs. Taylor Heineke converted. This was the first third down that was converted of the game on 3rd and 1 by Taylor Heineke with a 15-yard run. And then they went back to Antonio Gibson. Then they went pass on 3rd and 9. That's why it didn't work. There's your explanation right there, right? And then 4th and 9, you try to kick the field goal, you get the field goal. But look at how many runs you got on your second drive after the touchdown there. You're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays right there. Of the 5, 4 of them were runs. It's not really working. You settled for 3, then you get the ball back. It looks like you tried to go back to the pass. You go deep past the middle of Jahan Dotson. 61 yards. On 1st and 10, they came out the gate and took the shot. If this is my team, I'm lit right now. I'm like, let's go. You go to Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson gets a big run. That's the one that got you down to the 11. And then the Curtis Samuel play that you don't like on 1st down, and then the fumble. You know?
Both of those plays, both of those. I mean, it's kind of ironic that 2 of those situations ended short were the situations where they would decide to go to Curtis Samuel to run the ball.
I see your beef with the 3rd and 3, because if you're like, hey, I wanted to get a ball to Brian Robinson, I got no complaint with that, right? I just don't think it's a bad play call. And then this one here that happens on the fumble drive, it's on 1st down. It's that thing with the jet sweep I was telling you about before, man. It's like a lot of people don't like that shit on the goal line. And I understand it. People don't want that trickery. Giants fans are so tainted with the jet sweep on in the red zone, in between the 10, let's call it the green zone. Giants fans hate that call. For me, I've seen it work. It works, because defenses are trying to pinch down, close gaps. They're trying to close the A gaps and the B gaps and make it so that you force things to the outside. So a little jet sweep could work on 1st down. I think if you're going to do something like that, you do it on 1st down. But then 2nd and 9, they went pass.
Yeah.
It was a 5-yard completion to Terry McLaurin, short across the middle. And then on 3rd and 4, Taylor Heineke is sacked. And here's the thing. You're down 17-12 at this point. If you could have at least came away with a field goal, there was still 6 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock, and I believe y'all still had y'all timeouts on that drive.
Yeah, we would have drove down to the whole debacle at the end of the game. We could have just kicked the field goal.
But here's the thing is that the Giants do come back on the next drive, 9 plays, Saquon Barkley, and they scored the field goal.
Yeah.
And that's why I gave a little bit of credit to Saquon Barkley in this game, because those 3 runs out of the shotgun, those 3 draw runs, Saquon's spinning. He's doing everything he can to close that game out. You get the field goal, and now you'd be up again. It wouldn't be a field goal lead.
I would feel wrong if I didn't give a shout out to Saquon Barkley for that move he put on Bostic.
Oh, yeah, great move. Great move. Looking at you like, that's one where you smiling in the helmet. Like, get out of bounds on this.
No, I mean, you heard everybody in the stadium saw that one, no matter where you were sitting. It was.
Yeah, that was crucial. That was crucial. That was a move. That was right. It was coming right towards us too, man. I thought that was a great one. So we're going back to Carson Wentz, right? We know you want Carson Wentz. I think that's probably not the move right now. Carson Wentz can't save his job with 3 games. Let Taylor Heineke finish this out is my thinking until you're out of playoff contention.
I mean, Carson Wentz knows where he stands right now.
Which is what? Getting cut next year?
Yeah, he probably understands. He's either going to have to get cut or he's going to have to take a major pay cut. You know what I'm saying?
28 as a starter is not horrible, but he didn't really prove enough. But 28, man, 28, most people would take that all day for the quarterback position. It's 0 dead cap hit, so I think y'all cut him. Yeah. I don't think he knows where his fate is right now. Maybe 3 games could maybe help him. I don't think so. I don't think 3 games could help him.
But you got to think about it like this. I mean, that's why I said this week right now, this question is hard when it shouldn't be because of our opponent. But you got to win.
Going up against a backup quarterback too.
So maybe you stick with Taylor Heineke for this game. But if they don't score points, you got to pull him at half. I'm sorry. You got to pull him at half.
You have Carson ready to go.
Yeah. He's ready. I saw him on Sunday night, man. That boy is ready. He is ready.
Okay, I this is going to be a little off topic, right? But one of my homies came through the studio the other day. Shout out to my homie Maserati Black, and he brought some homies over, man, and they cut a feature record, and they asked this question. I'm going to put you on the spot again. And we can and this is not a football related question, but it's just dead hilarious to me. All right. And chat, you tell me what y'all feel about this. Would you rather, in front of a big crowd with everything on the line, get crossed over to the point where you fall and he looks at you, step back jumper, drops the jumper in your face, steps over you like Allen Iverson did Tyronn Lue, or would you rather get dunked on where the ceiling collapses on you and somebody puts their nuts on you and straight up puts you on a poster?
That's a really tough question.
Dog, it took me so long to answer this question the other day.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking like,
right, crypto.
That's the part. If you would have just said dunked on, then it would have been a lot easier. But the whole ceiling collapsing and the nuts on my forehead. Yeah. See, because if I were to get dunked on, but I got an opportunity to go up, You know what I'm saying? And I just got dunked on.
Oh, you're going to jump and get okay, let me kind of paint how you get dunked on. Do you remember when Shaq dunked on that white dude? I can't remember his name. And he put his legs around the dude, and the dude grabbed his legs and then threw the basketball at him. Or Scottie Pippen, Patrick Ewing, yam, poster forever. Or Tyronn Lue,
well
crossover.
then, bam, yeah, give me the crossover because you don't live on the poster of the crossover. You live on the poster for life with the
I
dunk.
took the crossover too, bro.
Yeah,
Ain't no way in hell. And look, Crypto said it. No nuts, bro. You're not about to violate me like that, dog. Ain't no way. And they're going to have me on a poster for the rest of my life. So I took the crossover. It was a homie in here he was like more of a point guard vibe. He was like, nah, man, I'll take getting dunked on all day. I was like, nah, man, I can't do it. And I promised myself I was going to ask y'all that before, we got to the next podcast. I wanted to ask them on Giant Overreaction, but we got to it. I'm definitely taking the crossover.
Yeah, because
Yo, how about the
I don't want to be in a poster.
Crazy, not gonna lie.
Oh man.
Yeah, I thought that one was wild. But yeah, man. So we've been at it for a good solid. We're 4 seconds away. 3, 2, 1. We hit that 3-hour mark one time. Shout out to the gang. That's 2 podcasts in one day. that we breached the 3-hour mark, man. Shout out to the gang. We still got about a good 75 in the building. We appreciate y'all rocking with us today while I just kind of tug at the beard one time and try to push all the wrong buttons.
You earned it. You earned it, man. Listen, you earned it. I'm not going to lie. You earned it. A win is a win. And you know what's funny is people ask me too. So on my show I was doing this morning, the reselling show, right? People were like, so what's it like at the game? Like with you and Awthentik? It's like, I'm like, at the game, it's not really like that. Like, there might be a few little jabs here and there, but like, especially in a close game like this, is the game where we got our asses whooped. That was a little bit different, But like I said, it's mostly after the game.
Oh yeah, it's tough after the game.
That's this
I'm
show
the
right
kind
here.
of dude that like I'm not gonna celebrate doing victory laps when the game's not over. I'm not gonna do that.
This when Awthentik's ready for to go at the beard. You see how that position he's in right now?
Yeah, the holding this joint right here because I'm cooling.
Look at that little.
If it's us that lost, I'm gonna be up here like dog. But hey, when you get a win like that, an ugly W, and I forget who it was. Somebody earlier said, yeah, but the Giants aren't good either. Yeah, I know. We're not that good. Definitely have overachieved this year. The whole NFC East is not as good as it looks.
Hey, I literally picked every single team in the NFC East to have a winning record this year.
You did a great job on that. You did a fantastic job on that. You want to get the round of applause out one time. I need a virtual ticket. Oh, man, the beard, man. Congratulations, man.
Thanks. I got to get something going on my side here after this stream.
Got to get some kind of winning, right? You're looking for something.
Big shout out to Die Hard Giants fan for the $10 super chat. Says, just supporting. Keep doing it, y'all. Love the content. We appreciate you very much. Very, very much.
Big salute,
yes.
fan. Big salute,
listen,
fan. Appreciate that big time.
You had to go and say that. Yeah, we can still go.
Spike don't care.
Yeah, thanks.
I like it. Yeah, Yams bring you back down to reality one time right there.
Yeah, real. Thanks, Yams. But you were my guy. Oh man.
Yams said he don't think he'll live long enough to see double-digit wins again, much less a Super Bowl. Cowboys sitting on two straight seasons with double-digit wins right now, man.
Yep. It's going to be an interesting last 3 weeks of the season. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, we down to the wire, and I'm feeling real good. But who knows, man? The Giants here, man, we got to win a game.
Week.
Yeah. Vikings are going to be tough. Y'all got the 49ers. I think
who
y'all
do the Lions play?
Who play?
Who do the Lions play?
The Lions? Let's see who they
That's
play.
it right now. I'm just worried about the Lions now. Seahawks play the Chiefs this weekend.
Lions got the Panthers Saturday. And then they got the Bears and the Packers. I think y'all might be cooked. It might be Johnny Simpson show, dog.
I think the Lions can win all of those games easily, right? But I think that if they're going to lose, that Bears game and Packers game are going to be tough. Is the Packers game in Detroit or in Green Bay?
Packers game is in Green Bay. Time is to be determined. They probably going to flex that one out if it's got some relevance. Big divisional game.
Shout out to How About Them Boys. I'm glad you had fun. I'm actually not that down, to be honest with you, considering.
Yeah, I gotta reel you back in, man. You know?
Yeah. It was, you know, I was self-prepared for this event.
Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse.
No. This is the worst. It'll be lost.
Could have been a lot worse. Wasn't even that bad. Wasn't even that bad of a loss, you know? Could have been a lot worse. It's okay. Y'all gonna be all right. You already know we let y'all slip away with the tie the first time. You should be fortunate you came out of this with half a win.
I hate you. As the great philosopher Awthentik once said,
Spike don't care.
Is that what
as the great philosopher Awthentik once said, I never liked you.
Oh, I always knew. I
always knew it. I'm like, there he goes. You got to go straight to the philosopher for the philosopher.
That's the jugular right there. That's it. I always knew I never liked you. It's a great saying. It's a great saying, man. No, but I think we, the Giants fans welcomed you today. It was a warm welcome. They were like, we feel sorry for you, Beard, man. Sorry about your guys, man. The commies, man. Mike Swan was calling y'all the Mandies. I thought that was good. Nice little nickname there. Beard's like, I'm done.
We don't listen to anything Mike Swan says about football.
That's kind of true. That is kind of true. Called y'all the Mandies one time. I was like, man. Let me see. What's Benny saying here?
My wife is in the chat hitting me with the Dominican ha-ha-ha-ha's with the ja-ja-ja-ja-ja.
The New York Yankees. Shout out Josie in the building one time. Are we ever going to see Chase Young this season? What you think about that one, Beer?
If we're still in the playoff race after, if we're in the playoff race after this, damn man, I don't know, maybe. Listen, I thought we would, but it's like,
ain't it crazy? The whole season is almost over now.
Yeah. And
now it's getting a little like, dang, we thought he was coming back a couple weeks ago at least.
Yeah, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the process. I think that it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want him to play if he's not ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to go out there tweak that knee. You already know.
The way I'm looking at it is I'm moving forward as if he's not going to play, and if they tell me that he's going to play, I'm going to be super excited. That's how I'm going to move forward with that. I'm going to go with the anticipation that, based upon recent weeks, I would consider moving forward thinking that Chase Young is not going to play this season, and if he does, it's an extra bonus. I think that's the best way to really look at that.
Yeah,
situation.
I think that's the best way to look at that too, man. And y'all front hasn't been struggling or nothing like that. Y'all have been doing a pretty decent job outside of this game where y'all couldn't get to the quarterback because we were throwing the ball too quick. But y'all been faring pretty well. Y'all been faring pretty well.
This guy Awthentik, man.
Yeah, I just, giving you the facts, man. Just giving you the facts, man. Giving you the facts.
I was trying to give you the facts.
What's the shirt say again? Play like a
champion today.
Y'all didn't do that on Sunday night.
That's why I'm wearing it today.
Y'all played like it was preseason out there, John. Like, man,
That's what I said, man.
We got tomorrow.
I said that in my tweet. I said, listen, stop blaming the refs. We lost because the Giants played playoff football. We played preseason football.
Yeah, the Giants was out there playing week 1 football. They didn't look too great. I'm worried going into this game against the Vikings. You can't put up an effort like that offensively and expect to be able to hang with the Minnesota Vikings. They're a juggernaut on offense, man. And when they get clicking, going to have this defensive front have pretty much a similar game, man. Got to get after the quarterback. But Azeez and Kayvon Thibodeau, man, that is a tandem for years to come. And then you got Dexter Lawrence. Dare I say we now challenging y'all for that best front in the division?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah,
I mean, our interior is slightly better than yours. I mean, obviously we have to wait and see what we have with Chase Young if he, can get back to Rookie of the Year form. But I'd say it's close. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The Eagles, the Giants, Cowboys, Commanders, all fairly good defensive teams.
Yeah, been pretty good. Giants can't stop the run. Eagles can't stop the run. Dallas can't stop the run.
Washington.
Y'all can stop the run.
Except
didn't do it on
Sunday.
So how you feeling, man? You think we can
put a bow on it?
I'm enjoying this so much, though.
I know you are. I'm not at this point. I've had enough.
Kick my feet up right here. Just chill all day and just talk about how y'all lost that game. Keep asking you questions. We keep making you run in circles, chasing your tail.
Looking like Ace.
Facts, yo. All right, man. Well, this was a good one, man. This was a I don't even know what to call this kind of session, man. This
Damn
was like,
victory lap for you.
This is
what
like
it was.
open gym with some third graders. This was like one you got in the bag. He said, "You see the way Awthentic sitting over there?
Week 16 can get here
Gotta
fast
unlock
enough.
the lock. You know, you got the lock on the chair so it don't lean back. I might hit you with a."
Looking like you in a Caprice. Hey, look, do you know I saw Fabian said, I forgot to bring this up because I was so in the weeds. What high school is the Cougars?
I was really going to ask you, bro. I was going to ask you. I can't remember who the Cougars was.
Fabian, what high school is the Cougars, man? That might be
Blake?
one of them new high schools.
Maybe? No, Blake was like...
Blake was the Bears or the Bobcats or something.
It had like a claw, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Fabian
was it Northwest? I think it was Northwest.
Northwest Cougars?
That was a newer high school.
Yeah, I remember Northwest. They kept us out the
Quince
playoffs.
Orchard.
Quince Orchard, okay. We never played them. I never got to play them. We moved to 4A your senior year, I think, and
yeah.
you might have played them.
I didn't play my senior year.
I got to
remember,
Einstein.
I was on IR. I didn't play my senior year.
So junior year, you think y'all played Quince Orchard?
I believe so.
We were 3A that year with Damascus.
They're really good. I want to say that they made it to states this year.
I don't think y'all played them though. I don't think y'all played them that year.
I think we played Quince Orchard. I remember playing Quince Orchard, I believe. But also, there's a lot of high school that's very hazy for the Beard.
Yeah, I was picking you up and turning up right after. It was kind of crazy.
Oh yeah,
Quince Orchard. Yeah, I never got to play them. Not on JV either. Definitely
I think they're state. They went to state this year, I believe. Really good team. Wale was at the game.
That's my name. Don't forget it.
Shout out Dr. Drake. Oh, they did win states this year. Wale was there. I think he went to Quince Orchard. Did he go to Quince Orchard? Wale.
I'm just playing with you. Where's Wale, man? He ain't been in no Washington games this year. I ain't seeing him doing no social media appearances. Not the year?
They're waiting for Jay. Waiting for Jay, man. Jay told him, say, hey, look, man, just fall back a little bit. I'm going to be in there soon, man. You be good.
What y'all sitting at right now? 7, 6-1.
Yeah.
So one more win and get y'all to 500?
What you mean?
Like, if you can win one more game, you can guarantee that you have a 500 season?
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to get dicey here. It's going to get dicey. San Fran,
Cleveland,
Dallas. I'm
Dallas.
going to say 1 and 2.
You think 1 and 2? 1 and 2 gets us in if Detroit loses one game, right? Because they're 7 and 7.
Yeah, Detroit 7 and 7.
So that wouldn't get us in, would it? Because they'd
If
be
y'all
9
get
and
one
8.
more win, y'all have 9.5.
No, if we get one more win, we'll be 8 and 1.
8.5. Yeah. So 8.5 wins. Yeah. So you would need Detroit to just win. One win won't get them over y'all. 2 wins will get them over y'all, or a win and a tie.
Yeah. Man, it's gonna be tough. Starting to kind of hit me.
La Mamba James. I like that name. He said, Wale, an Eagles fan.
I really honestly thought that the Lions were going to lose to the Jets this weekend.
That was a close one. That was a close one. Some mismanagement of the clock late in that game, too.
Yeah, didn't use any of their timeouts. Weird. This goes
super
back
weird.
to these damn coaches.
Yep. Shout out to Giants coaching staff one time. I don't know what it is, man. Good way to wind down here, man. What you got planned for the rest of the evening, brother?
Probably gonna. I'm tired, man. I'm real tired. Probably gonna eat, lay down on the couch.
Definitely gonna eat something here. I ate before the podcast. I'm about to eat again. Got some baked macaroni and some chicken upstairs. We about to go crazy.
I had some. What do they call it? Crock pot chicken, pulled chicken with some pasta and some cheese and some spice.
Okay, a little vibe one time. Yeah, the gang showed up and showed out today, man. Shout out to the Giants Nation. Shout out to all the Commanders fans out there, man. We had a lit stream throughout this whole entire one. Shout out to homie diehard Giants fan one time in the building.
I really hope the entire NFC East makes the postseason. Me too. Shout out to the diehard Giants fan for the $5 super chat.
Yeah, like I don't want to get to the postseason and not have y'all there. I know that you will feel some type of way, Rich Homie Quan, for sure. So I think I'm rooting for you, brother. You are the strong side to the left side. I'm rooting for you, brother. I'm rooting for you, man. I don't want. That's why I be so quiet during the games, because I know somebody's heart gonna be broken. I'm fortunate it was yours this week. That was really good, and you got to live with that till next year, man. Till we play on next year, and we on the up and up.
Unless we see y'all in the playoffs.
Oh, and hey, listen, if we see the Washington Commanders in the playoffs, write it down, take a picture. I don't give a book it. We're gonna win.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say we're gonna be there.
We could be there too, but we gonna definitely win. If it'd be a Giants home game.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh, these chickens is ready to go. They on the assembly line, ready to go. We know they hatching. Got the steroids on them and everything. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it, though. That will be fantastic. Big shout out to Dr. Drake one time for rocking with us today, man. I think that's a new face in the building. I can't remember, but you already know, man. Welcome to the fam. Glad you digging the content, man. We're going to be here on Thursday for the preview show, man. Make sure y'all tune in 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Beard, any last words before I send them off?
Nah, man. Congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys fans from clinching a playoff spot. Congratulations to the New York Giants on their victory over the Washington Commanders. And you play to win the game, one game at a time, any given Sunday. See you guys on Thursday.
Any given Sunday. You know what kind of teams say that? Them teams that take a lot of L's. And any given Sunday, man, we can win. Not this past Sunday. What was that? December the 18th? Beautiful day. I'm going to remember it for the whole damn year. Hopefully we get to see y'all again in the playoffs. Y'all know what it is over here at Awthentik and The Beard. Rest in peace to the podcast GOAT Combat Jack, who died 5 years ago today, man. Big salute to Premium Pete. Y'all know what it is, man. Keep living those dreams. Keep raising that bar, because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Don't let them haters on Twitter get to you. All right? Y'all be good. We will see y'all on Thursday for the preview show. One time for the one-time Beard. Left side.
Strong side.
All right, y'all. Y'all be good. Peace.
Peace.